Uh,
Jai Shri Ram. I am Diya Vandana Sharma and I welcome one and all to AIPI's 3-day international webinar on Shri Ram, an embodiment of compassion. Shri Ram is a symbol of righteousness, courage, dignity, and purity. But at the same time, he is an embodiment of utmost compassion, benevolence, love, and unparalleled kindness. Without an iota of doubt, it is Bhagwan Ram's compassion towards all beings that make him the beloved one of one and all. This reminds me of a beautiful story from the Ramayana that echoes the compassion of Bhagwan Ram. I remember as a child, my grandfather told me that in order to rescue Mata Sita, Bhagwan Ram's Vanar Sena carried humongous rocks in order to build the Rama Setu. A little squirrel who wanted to help her beloved Lord also contributed by bringing tiny pebbles and stones from the shore. She would also shake off the sand on her body that she collected from the shore each time she ran to pick up a tiny pebble. Lakshman curiously asked her, "That little one, what are you up to?" Busy and dedicated to her work, she did not reply to Lakshman. However, soon Lord Ram gently picked the little squirrel in his palm and asked her, "Oh, my beloved one, what are you up to?" To this, she replied, "Oh, my dearest Lord, I am thankful to you for giving me this beautiful body. In accordance to my form and my capacity, I am trying to help you in your majestic mission." Hearing this, Lord Ram had tears in his eyes and a beautiful, gentle smile on his face. And he told her, "Your contribution is the foundation of this bridge, my beloved one. For it is these little pebbles, stones, and sand that fill up the spaces between the large rocks. Thank you for helping me." And he gently put her on the ground. Soon, 3 beautiful lines appeared on the body of the squirrel. The above said story can give us various lessons, but the most important of them all is that the compassion of Sri Ram is boundless. He needs no fancy stuff. All he needs is a little bit of devotion, and you'll earn his grace. Without further ado, let's start this webinar that aims at bringing to light the compassion of Sri Ram and hand-holding the world onto the path of love and kindness. However, before we kickstart the much-awaited webinar, let's be all ears to the melodious Ram Bhajan that we have. But before that, my pranams to Swami Govind Giri Ji Maharaj and my pranams to Swami Chidanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj. Let's have this beautiful bhajan which we all are waiting for.
पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, 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 पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो। वस्तु अमौलिक दी मेरे सतगुरु, वस्तु अमौलिक दी मेरे सतगुरु, कृपा कर अपनायो पायो जी मैंने, कृपा कर अपनायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो। जन्म जन्म की पूंजी पाई, जन्म जन्म की पूंजी पाई, जन्म जन्म की पूंजी पाई, जग में सभी खोवायो पायो जी मैंने, जग में सभी खोवायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो। खर्च न फूटे चोर न लूटे, खर्च न फूटे चोर न लूटे, दिन दिन बढ़ता सवायो पायो जी मैंने, दिन दिन बढ़ता सवायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो। सत की नाव खेवटिया सतगुरु, सत की नाव खेवटिया सतगुरु, भव सागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने, भव सागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो। मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर, हरख हरख जस गायो पायो जी मैंने, हरख हरख जस गायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो। पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने, राम रतन धन, राम रतन
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thanks a lot for this melodious bhajan. Diya, you unmute.
Indeed, the song was very beautiful. The bhajan was sung absolutely wonderfully well, and that shows that how much talent this country has. Thank you so much for this lovely, lovely bhajan to the little boy Rahul. Well, now I would like to welcome the man behind the Association of Indian Philosophers International. He needs no introduction. People all over the world, across the lengths and breadths of the globe, love him for his wisdom, for his grace, and for his dignity. I'm talking about none other than the former chairperson of the Indian Council of Philosophical Research, the chairman of Indian Philosophical Congress, the chairman of Asian African Philosophical Congress, and the chairman of Association of Indian Philosophers International, Professor S.R. Bhatt. So I would request you to please start the webinar by giving a theme introduction to the same. My pranams to you.
Thank you, Vandana. Our respectful pranam to all the revered friends and distinguished beloved audience.
So I would just request Shri Hariprasad Swamiji to mute his mic. His voice is echoing actually.
I see. Our deliberations will be bilingual, both English and Hindi. And since a majority of the participants are Hindi speaking, I would prefer to speak in Hindi. And in between, of course, I would be using English language as well. भारतीय संस्कृति बहुत ही महनीय, भव्य एवं उदात्त है. इसका प्रारंभ कब से हुआ यह तो हमें ज्ञात नहीं है, लेकिन यह सनातन है. इसमें जीवनदायिनी शक्ति है. अतः यह एक सतत प्रवाहित सरिता के सदृश है, जिसमें नई नई जो है ट्रिब्यूटरीज ज्वाइन करती है और इस प्रकार से इसको समृद्ध करती है. इस संस्कृति में अनेकों महान विभूतियां उत्पन्न हुई हैं, अवतरित हुई हैं, लेकिन दो ऐसी विभूतियां हैं जो कि जनप्रिय हैं और जिनके प्रभाव जनमानस पर अमिट है, बहुत ही गहरा है. एक है भगवान राम और दूसरा है भगवान कृष्ण. वैसे तो अन्य देवी देवताएं भी हैं और वे पूजनीय हैं, उनकी हम पूजा करते हैं और उनसे हम काफी ग्रहण भी करते हैं, लेकिन सबसे अधिक जो जनमानस को प्रभावित जिसने किया है वह भगवान राम और भगवान कृष्ण है. अभी कुछ ही दिनों पहले हमने दशहरा और दिवाली के उत्सव मनाए. इस विचार गोष्ठी में वस्तुतः हम उसका अनुश्रवण करेंगे, उसका अनुवर्तन करेंगे और जो आदर्श भगवान राम ने हमारे सामने प्रस्तुत किए हैं, वो आदर्श हम कैसे अपने जीवन में चरितार्थ कर सकें, इस पर भी चिंतन करेंगे. आज कलियुग में हम बहुत ही विकट और विषम परिस्थितियों में जी रहे हैं. तो इस संदर्भ में भगवान राम का जीवन चरित्र, जो कि अनेक संतों ने, अनेक विद्वानों ने अनेक रूपों में प्रस्तुत किया है, उस पर हम चिंतन करेंगे। 300 रामायण विश्व में विद्यमान हैं और अलग अलग विद्वानों ने अलग अलग रूप से राम का दर्शन किया है। सभी में एक रूपता है, सभी में एक प्रकार का साम्य है, तो उस साम्य को हम दृष्टि में रख करके विचार विमर्श करेंगे। इस विचार गोष्ठी का प्रारंभ हम संतों से कर रहे हैं। भारतीय संस्कृति में संत बहुत ही पूजनीय होते हैं और अनुकरणीय होते हैं। उनका आदर्श जो है हमारे जीवन को समृद्ध करने वाला होता है। अतः हम और ये संत जो है वस्तुतः जो आदर्श भगवान राम ने प्रस्तुत किए हैं उसी को प्रतिध्वनित करते हैं। अतः हम संतों से इस विचार गोष्ठी का प्रारंभ करेंगे। हमारी जो आर्ष परंपरा है उसके ये संत वाहक हैं, पुरोधा हैं और पुरस्कर्ता है। अतः पुनः मैं इन संतों को जो हमारे बीच उपस्थित विद्यमान हैं उनको मैं प्रणाम करता हूँ और मैं अब चाहूँगा कि हम उनकी वाणी का श्रवण करें और अपने जीवन को सुखी और समृद्ध और अनुशासित, मुख्य चीज जो है वह अनुशासन है। भगवान राम जो है वह मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम थे, तो उन्होंने जो है अनुशासन को अपने जीवन में कैसे हम उतार सकते हैं उसका उदाहरण प्रस्तुत किया है। तो हम संतों के वाणी को सुन करके हम एक प्रकार से ये पुण्य लाभ हम कर पाएंगे। तो सर्वप्रथम हम महामंडलेश्वर कार्षणी स्वामी डॉक्टर गुरुशरणानंद जी महाराज, जो स्वयं अभी यहाँ पर लाइव उपस्थित नहीं हो पाए हैं क्योंकि उनके यहाँ पर मोरारी बापू की राम कथा चल रही है और वह 10 दिन की राम कथा उनके यहाँ हो रही है, तो इसलिए वो वहाँ पर व्यस्त हैं। लेकिन उन्होंने अपना उद्बोधन हमें जो है रिकॉर्ड के रूप में प्रस्तुत किया है, उसी को हम जो है अब यहाँ पर सुनेंगे। दिया जी इसको संचालित करिएगा।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, आपने बहुत शुभ आरंभ किया है इस सेमिनार का। Our first guest is not just a revered saint, but is also a celebrated scholar. He is a confluence of the Jnana, Karma, and Bhakti Yoga. With compassion as his foundation, he has worked tirelessly for the upliftment of humans, animals, and the whole of environment. Though he could not join us today in person, he has sent his blessings via a video message. I bow in humility before the spiritual head of the Karshni ashram, His Holiness Karshni Peethadhishwar Mahamandaleshwar, Dr. Gurusharnanand ji Maharaj.
एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडियन फिलोसफर्स इंटरनेशनल के तत्वावधान में आदरणीय भट्ट जी के सत्प्रयास से जो राम की करुणा मूर्ति का संवाद हो रहा है, ये अद्भुत है। इस प्रकार के विषय का चयन भी अपने आप में अत्यंत विशिष्ट कार्य है। सब लोग इस तरह का चयन भी नहीं कर सकते। राम को आप परमात्मा माने या ना माने, ये आपकी स्वतंत्रता है। राम हिस्टोरिकल पर्सनेज है या नहीं, केवल एक मिथ है। हम इस विषय में भी कुछ नहीं कहेंगे। थोड़ी देर के लिए अगर ये कथा मात्र मिथ ही है, तो इतने उच्च चरित्र वाली मिथ को तैयार करने वाला वो मिथ का कर्ता कितना महान रहा होगा और उसका प्रभाव क्या पड़ा है, इसको तो कोई नकार नहीं कर सकता है, नकार सकता है। इसलिए राम एज ए पर्सोनेज महान है, हिस्टोरिकल और नॉन हिस्टोरिकल, किसी भी तरह से। ब्रह्म मानो, ईश्वर मानो, या केवल इस लोक का एक मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम मानो। जब श्री वाल्मीकि जी ने रामायण का चरित्र लेखन प्रारंभ किया है, राम का चरित्र लेखन प्रारंभ किया, तो उसके पहले उन्होंने गुरुजनों से जिज्ञासा की, कौन अस्मिन् लोके, उन्होंने इस लोक में ऐसा कौन पुरुष है जो कृतज्ञ है, गुणवान इत्यादि वो गुणों की जिज्ञासा की है जो उत्तम मानवोचित है। परमात्मा तत्व की जिज्ञासा श्री वाल्मीकि जी ने साक्षात नहीं की है। तो इसलिए राम पुरुष हैं, व्यक्ति हैं, उसमें उत्तम है। वो बड़ी मर्यादा से चलते हैं। मर्यादा से तो सबको चलना चाहिए माय डियर, आस्तिक को भी और नास्तिक को भी। अब आस्तिक हो या नास्तिक हो, अगर कार चलाने में मर्यादा नहीं पालन करोगे तो माय डियर एक्सीडेंट तो होना ही है। इसी प्रकार आहार, निद्रा, भय, मैथुन में अगर आप विवेक नहीं धारण करते हो तो एक्सीडेंट होएगा ही, दुर्घटना होएगी ही। तो इसलिए दुर्घटना न हो, उनकी सावधानी बरतने का नाम मर्यादा पालन है। कब खाया जाए, ईश्वर है कि नहीं, क्या लेना देना है, तुम तो हो, तुम्हारे लिए क्या हितकर है खाना, किस प्रकार खाना, हित भुक मित भुक, ये नहीं होगे तो रोगी हो जाओगे। तो इसलिए इसकी मर्यादा। इसी प्रकार अन्य सब जिनका हम परिगणन नहीं करना चाहते हैं, तो मनुष्य का मतलब जिनको मनु से एलर्जी हो वो इसको उस तरह अर्थ न लगावे। मनुष्य का मतलब यह है जिसमें मनुष्यत्व हो। मनुष्यत्व क्या है, तो ज्ञानम हि तेषाम अधिकम विशेषम। मनुष्य में ज्ञान माने विवेक है, क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है, कब करना है, कितना नहीं करना है, बाएं घूमना है कि दाएं घूमना है, कि आगे चलना है, एक्सीलरेटर दबाना है कि क्लच दबाना है, कि ब्रेक लगाना है, कि गियर बदलना है, ये सब के सब का पालन करना ये विवेक है। और जिसमें ये विवेक है वो मनुष्य है, वो पुरुष है। पुरुष नाम इसलिए दिया, इस शरीर रूपी पुरी में रहता है। ये बड़ा सार्थक शब्द है कि इस पुरी का नायक वो है, संचालक वो है, धारक वो है। तो इसलिए जो विवेकी है माने जो पुरुषत्व गुणों वाला है, माने पशुत्व से भिन्न है, उसको पुरुष कहेंगे और उसको हम मनुष्य कहेंगे। वो ईश्वर को माने न माने हमें कोई लेना देना नहीं है। ईश्वर को माने तो उसकी इच्छा, न माने तो इच्छा। अपने आप को तो माने, कोजिटो एर्गो सम तो माने, अपने आप को तो माने। तो जो अपने आप को मानता है और अपने कल्याण और सुख की अभीप्सा करता है, उसको हम मनुष्य कहेंगे, उसको हम पुरुष कहेंगे। तो जो मर्यादाएं बनाई गई हैं वो मनुष्य की स्वतंत्रता के लिए है। मर्यादाएं स्वतंत्रता की बाधक नहीं है। अगर मर्यादा नहीं बनाएंगे तो चौराहे पर अगर गाड़ी रोकी नहीं गई तो केओस हो जाएगा। गाड़ी को रोकना और गाड़ी को आगे बढ़ने की अनुमति देना ये गाड़ी के स्वतंत्र संचालन के लिए आवश्यक है। नहीं, हम क्यों गाड़ी रोकेंगे, हमारी गाड़ी रोकने का अधिकार किसको है, हम जहां मर्जी रुकेंगे, हम जहां मर्जी मान नहीं रुकेंगे तो माय डियर केओस हो जाएगा, कहीं जा नहीं पाओगे। इसलिए विश्व कल्याण छोड़ो, राष्ट्र कल्याण छोड़ो, समाज कल्याण सोचो, आत्म कल्याण की सोचो। आत्म कल्याण के लिए भी मर्यादा पालन आवश्यक है। वो क्या क्या मर्यादाएं हैं तो उनका एक संकेत श्री वाल्मीकि जी ने अपने प्रश्नावली में किया है, जिसको हम लोग संक्षिप्त रामायण के रूप में जानते हैं। तो उसमें भगवान राम को भगवान इस रूप में नहीं जिज्ञासा की गई है, एक पुरुष विशेष के रूप में उसका जिज्ञासा। वैसे ईश्वर भी तो पुरुष विशेष ही है। तो जो जो दिव्य गुण परम सुख की प्राप्ति के लिए आवश्यक हैं उनका दर्शन हम राम में कर सकते हैं। राम का चरित्र बहुत उदात्त है। मैं चरित्र शब्द का प्रयोग जानबूझ के इसलिए कर रहा हूं कि फिलोसफर्स बैठे हुए हैं, वो लोग इस दृष्टि से, फिर उसका तात्पर्य आप जिस तरह करना चाहे आपका स्वातंत्र्य है। राम का चरित्र कितना उज्जवल है उसको एक रामायण की कथा के माध्यम से हम आपकी सेवा में निवेदन करें। राम अनंत हैं क्योंकि राम के गुण अनंत हैं। गुण अनंत हैं तो उनकी लीला अनंत है, तो इसलिए उनकी कथा अनंत है। तो हरि अनंत, हरि कथा अनंता की दृष्टि से रामायण शतकोटि अपारा, बहुत रामायण है। एक रामायण की कथा हम आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं। कथाएं तो आप राम की, कथा तो राम की है, कथाएं राम के जीवन की हम सब लगभग जानते ही हैं। सीता का हरण करके रावण लंका में ले गया। राम जी भालू और बंदरों की सेना लेकर के और लंका पे चढ़ाई कर दिए और रावण के सामने गंभीर परिस्थितियां आईं। तब उन्होंने अपने भाई कुंभकर्ण को उठाया। कुंभकर्ण माने कोई व्यक्ति विशेष था या नहीं, जिसका इस तरह का आहार और जिसका इस तरह का विहार, उसको कुंभकर्ण समझना चाहिए। नो कमेंट्स ऑन एनीबॉडी, नो पर्सनल कमेंट्स एटलीस्ट। तो कुंभकर्ण को उठाया गया बड़े प्रयास से। कुंभकर्ण उठ करके बैठा। इतनी लंबी आयु हो गई थी, कुंभकर्ण की नींद कभी डिस्टर्ब नहीं हुई थी। रावण ने कभी डिस्टर्ब नहीं किया था, जगाया नहीं था। कुंभकर्ण को जगाया गया। राक्षस होते हुए उसने उठ करके पहले भाई को प्रणाम किया। भाई साहब प्रणाम। हम लोग सीखते जाए, जो अपने बड़ों को प्रणाम नहीं करता उसको क्या कहें हम। अभिवादनशीलस्य नित्यम वृद्धोपसेविना। आजकल हम लोग ये भूल गए हैं, प्रोफेसर भूल गए, स्टूडेंट्स भूल गए आपस में एक दूसरे का सम्मान करना। पहले अपने गुरुजनों का, अपने विद्या के व्रत का किस तरह का हम लोग सम्मान करते हैं, हमको अभी तक अनुभव। नित्यम वृद्धोपसेविना चत्वारि तस्य वर्धन्ते आयुर्विद्या यशोबलम। ये प्रकरण में आ गया, इसलिए निवेदन कर रहा हूं अपने कर्तव्य के पालन के लिए। प्रणाम किया रावण को। रावण ने आशीर्वाद दिया। भाई साहब जलपान उपान जब उसका हो गया तो आज तक कभी आपने हमको जगाया नहीं, और अब आज आपने जगाया तो कोई कार्य विशेष अवश्य होगा। अब मैं स्वस्थ हूं, आप बताओ किस कारण मुझे जगाया गया, मैं आपकी किस आज्ञा का पालन करूं? मैं मैं आपकी आज्ञा का पालन करूं। तो रावण ने सब बात बता दी कि ऐसे ऐसे मैं सीता को ले आया और वो कुंभकर्ण बड़ी पीड़ा हो। भाई साहब ये आपने किया तो बहुत बुरा, लेकिन चलो मैं आपका अनुज हूं, मैं आपको क्वेश्चन नहीं करूंगा। यद्यपि मुझे मालूम जो आपने किया है इसमें आपकी मृत्यु सुनिश्चित है, केवल हार नहीं मृत्यु सुनिश्चित है, लेकिन ये मेरा निर्णय करने का अधिकार नहीं है। मैं आपकी आज्ञा का पालन करूंगा, लेकिन भाई की तरह एक बात पूछ रहा हूं, सीता को ले तो आए हो, हाँ, उपयोग कर लिया? हैव यू सेटिस्फाइड योरसेल्फ? तो रावण थोड़ा संकोच में तो पड़ा, लेकिन फिर कहा नहीं कर पाए। अरे क्यों? सीता मेरी तरफ देखती ही नहीं है। भाई साहब आप राजनीति के इतने बड़े पंडित हैं, केवल शास्त्र के ही नहीं व्यवहारिक ज्ञान भी आपको अद्भुत है। हम लोग अभी सुनेंगे कि किस तरह रघुनाथ ने लक्ष्मण को कहा था जाओ इससे राजनीति शास्त्र सीखो। तो आप तो उसके पंडित हैं। हमारे यहाँ साम दाम दंड भेद 4 नीतियों के द्वारा येन केनाप्युपाय न अपने अभीष्ट को प्राप्त करने का निर्देश दिया गया है। आपको कौन सिखाएगा? आप ये भी नहीं कर पाए। भैया मैं क्या कहूं, मैंने साम दाम दंड भय सब दिखाया, प्रलोभन तो यहां तक दिखाया मंदोदरी आदि सबनानी तुम्हारी दासी कर दूंगा, तो एक बार तो बस मेरी तरफ देख ले अनुराग से। सीता नहीं मानी, नहीं मानी। तो ये जो बात है जो मैं कहने जा रहा हूं वो अद्भुत बात कहने जा रहा हूं। अब तो कुंभकर्ण का आप तो मायावी हो, माया के द्वारा राम का रूप धारण कर लेते। हमारे यहाँ इतिहास में और घटनाएं ऐसी आई हैं, उसका रूप धारण करके और अपना इष्ट साधन किया गया है। तो तुम राम का रूप धारण कर लेते और राम का रूप धारण करके और अपने को संतुष्ट तो कर लेते। अरे एक बार तो कम से कम चांस मिल ही जाता आपको। तो रावण कहता तुम हमको इतना बेवकूफ समझते हो क्या? मैंने वो भी किया। अच्छा तो तुमने राम का रूप धारण किया और सीता ने तुम्हें भी नहीं स्वीकार किया? कहने उसकी जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी। क्या हो गया? राम का रूप धारण करने के लिए राम का हमको चिंतन करना पड़ा। भाई किसी का रूप धारण का चिंतन करो तभी तो उसका रूप बनाओगे। तो जैसे ही हमने राम के रूप का चिंतन किया, मेरे हृदय से सारे दुर्गुण अपने आप निकल गए। मेरे हृदय की काम वासना ही नष्ट हो गई। मुझे सीता तो क्या मंदोदरी भी माता दिखाई पड़ने लग गई। अरे मैंने कहा तो मेरे गांठ का भी जा रहा, मैंने तुरंत उनके रूप को छोड़ दिया। राम का रूप धारण करने से दुर्वासनाएं नष्ट होती हैं। राम का चिंतन करने से दुर्वासनाएं नष्ट होती हैं। राम के चरित्रों का चिंतन करने से दुर्वासनाएं नष्ट होती हैं। ये हम लोगों ने इस कथा के माध्यम से जाना। जहां राम तहां काम नहीं, जहां काम तहां राम। तो माय डियर, काम माने केवल लस्ट ही नहीं माय डियर, हर प्रकार की अशास्त्रीय वांछाएं ये सब कामांतर्गत आती हैं। भगवान राम तुम्हारा चरित स्वयं ही काव्य है, कोई कवि बन जाए सहज संभाव्य है। राम में अद्भुत गुण है। राम जैसा भाई कौन होगा। जीतते हुए खेल को भी भाई भरत के लिए हार जाते हैं। मुझे राज्य दिया जा रहा है, हम 4 भाई इकट्ठे पैदा हुए, सब साथ हुए, हमको अकेले क्यों राज्य दिया जा रहा है, इसकी पीड़ा है रघुनाथ के मन में। भरत राज्य प्राप्त करने से बड़े प्रसन्न है रघुनाथ। राम जैसे पुत्र कोई नहीं है। माताएं सब समान रूप से उनकी वंदनीय हैं। कि कई माता के आदेश पे उनके मन में कोई विकृति तो नहीं दिखाई पड़ी। प्रसन्न हुए, माता जी आपकी आज्ञा का पालन कर सकूं, इससे बढ़ के मेरा धन्यभाग क्या होगा। माता को प्रणाम किया है। ये रामचरित्र है। अन्य रामायणों में, वाल्मीकि रामायण इत्यादि में तो दशरथ ऊपर से तो शब्द से बंधे हुए थे, वचन से बंधे थे, इसलिए राम को राज्य नहीं दे पा रहे, वनवास दे रहे थे। लेकिन उनकी यहां तक इच्छा थी हमको कैद कर लो, कैद करके जेल में डाल दो और तुम राज्य करो। ये उनकी अंदर से इच्छा है। लेकिन नहीं, हमारे पिता की वचन पे कलंक आए। रघुवंशी का सहज स्वभाव, रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाई। दशरथ जी को अपने वचन भंग का पाप न सहन करना पाए थे। प्रसन्नता पूर्वक रघुनाथ 14 वर्ष के लिए वन में चले गए। रघुनाथ केवल विद्वानों के ही नहीं, राजाओं के ही नहीं, दीनहीन के भी अंतिम स्तर तक भगवान रघुनाथ पहुंचते हैं और आदर पूर्वक सख्य भाव से उनसे मिलते हैं। अब केवट है, गुह है, भील है, कोल है, सबरी है। अब न कोई जाति, मैंने कृपा करके उस स्थिति के ऊपर सुने, आप कोई दूसरा उस पर कमेंट आज के उसके ऊपर प्लीज मत ले आइए। जिधर मैं आपका ध्यान आकर्षण करा उसके क्या उनमें वैसे, लेकिन भगवान ने उनको अपना माना, भाई माना, गले लगाया। अरे केवट ने जिस तरह नचाया उस तरह नाचे भी। गीध को, जो पक्षियों में भी निकृष्टतम है, उसको गले लगाया। पिता के समान उसका संस्कार किया, क्योंकि ये पिता के मित्र है। इस स्थिति तक रघुनाथ पहुंचते हैं। अरे माय डियर, दुनिया की तो छोड़ो, राम रावण के जितने बड़े हितैषी हैं उतना कोई नहीं है। आप इसको नोट कर लें। रावण के कल्याण के लिए ही उसका वध किया गया, ये बात सही है। लेकिन रघुनाथ ने रावण का बहुत सम्मान किया है। दक्षिण भारत की एक रामायण की कथा है, उसमें वर्णन आया है। सेतु बांधने के अनंतर भगवान रघुनाथ को अपने इष्ट देव श्री भोलेनाथ की स्थापना की विवक्षा हुई। मैं यहां शिवलिंग स्थापित करूंगा, उसका पूजन करूंगा। तो बंदर और भालू के आप शिवलिंग स्थापित तो करोगे, लेकिन यहाँ के सारे ब्राह्मण तो वैसे ही चाट लिए गए। ब्राह्मण कहाँ चलाओगे? आपको मंत्र मालूम है, ठीक तो है, लेकिन आप क्षत्रिय कुल वाले हो, आप तो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा करवा नहीं सकते हो, कहाँ से आचार्य लाओगे? तो आप लोग आश्चर्य करेंगे। तो रघुनाथ कहते हैं, क्यों आचार्य रावण नहीं है क्या? तो सब लोग ऐसे ऐसे करके देखने लगे। लगता है माता जी के वियोग में इनको थोड़ा बुद्धि वैचित्र्य हो गया। रावण के ऊपर युद्ध करने जा रहे और कह रहे वो आचार्य नहीं है क्या? तो अब अब बड़े के सामने रानी से कौन कहे तू कैसे बैठी, बड़ी मर्यादा से कहना पड़ता है। तो रावण आचार्य, माने उनका ये था कि रावण आएंगे तुम्हारे आचार्य बनने। उन्होंने कहा रघुनाथ को दूसरे दिया, रावण आचार्य क्यों, वो क्या वेदा के ब्राह्मण नहीं है? कौन बोले वेदक ब्राह्मण पुरुष का नाती है, वेदा के नहीं है? अरे इतना बड़ा भाष्य लिखने वाला है, जटा कटा हस भ्रमम, ये शिव तांडव लिखने वाला है, शिव की उपासना करने वाला है, उससे बढ़कर शैव विप्र कौन मिलेगा? फिर क्या कमी उनमें? ओ, 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 स्वीकार करेंगे? अरे हम यजमान प्रार्थना करेंगे आचार्य से, स्वीकार करेंगे तो आ जाएंगे। यजमान को प्रार्थना तो करनी चाहिए, हम प्रार्थना करेंगे। तो सोचा कि किसको भेजे, तो जो ऋक्षराज जामवंत थे वो इनके नाना के साथी थे, इसलिए पूज्य है। जामवंत को भेजा गया कि आप जाओ और रावण को शिव की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा करने के लिए, और तो जामवान गए तो रावण खड़ा हो गया। रावण ने मर्यादा की, जामवान वृद्ध है, अर्घपात का नहीं, मैं अर्घपात स्वीकार नहीं करूंगा, मैं आपका अभिवादन करता हूं, क्योंकि मैं इस समय दूत के पद पे आया हूं और आप राजा हैं, आप कृपा करके। खैर ये बड़ी मर्यादा वर्णन है। तो जब कैसे आए तो राम जी ने शिवलिंग की स्थापना का संकल्प किया है और प्राण प्रतिष्ठा कार्य के आचार्य के रूप में आपका वर्ण किया है। आप कृपा करके प्राण प्रतिष्ठा समारोह के आचार्यत्व को स्वीकार करें। सारी सभा का इतना बड़ा दुस्साहस, तो रावण की आंखें वैसे ही बहुत बड़ी थी, और जरा ऐसे करके देख ले तो बहुत कुछ हो जाता था। जैसे ऐसे करके दिया, सब सुट पुट, रावण के नेत्र बंद हो गए। आज इतने दिनों बाद किसी ने रावण के ब्राह्मणत्व का और शिवाचार्यत्व का सम्मान किया, ये प्रथम बार हुआ है। मैं उस तपस्वी का अभिवादन करता हूं, और आचार्य को निमंत्रण दिया गया है तो आचार्य अवश्य स्वीकार करेगा। पूरी सभा सटपट, आप चलो और मैं आता हूं व्यवस्था करके। अब रावण तो कर्मकांड का पंडित है, मालूम है यज्ञ बिना यज्ञ पत्नी के पूरा नहीं होता है, और यज्ञ पत्नी सीता तो यहां है। ये रामायण का वर्णन है, एक अलग रामायण आप ध्यान करें, मैं कल्पना नहीं कर रहा हूं, आप लोग ढूंढेंगे तो मिल जाएगा। तो रावण सीता के पास पहुंचा, और जो भी समझ जनक नंदिनी रघुनाथ ने शिव की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा का आचार्य मुझे बनाया, वर्ण किया है, जैसे ही कहा कि आचार्य बनकर सीता जी ने गले के अंदर डाल करके ऐसे करके प्रणाम किया। यजमान की पूजा की आपूर्ति के लिए यजमान पत्नी का होना आवश्यक है। आप रथ में बैठिए और चलिए। सीता जी ने कोई संकोच नहीं किया है, आचार्य रावण है तो ये मर्यादा का पालन करेगा, इतना सीता माता बैठ गई। रावण रथ के किनारे किनारे तक तो पहुंचा, सेतु के इस किनारे पर रथ को छोड़ दिया, सीता को बैठा दिया, और वो रघुनाथ के बनाए हुए पुल पे नहीं गया, वो ऊपर से पहुंच के सीधे गया। रघुनाथ ने प्रणाम किया, आचार्य को आशीर्वाद दिया। रघुनाथ विराजे, बैठ गए, सब पूजा का संभार सब तैयार की, ये क्या क्या तैयार है, ये सब तैयार है, सब तो तैयार है, ठीक है, बिल्कुल ठीक है, चलो यज्ञ पत्नी को लाओ। यजमान से कहा। अब यज्ञ पत्नी माने समझे ना, सीता जी। तो दूसरे लोग तो दांत पीसने लग गए और रघुनाथ जी ऐसे सिर करके बैठ गए। घड़ी तो नहीं होगी वैसे ही, ये समय बीत रहा है, जैसे हम, मुझे मालूम है कि हम अधिक समय ले रहे हैं आप लोगों का। तो रावण कहता है समय व्यतीत हो रहा है, काल व्यत्यय हो रहा है, यजमान पत्नी लाओ। तो रघुनाथ कहते हैं प्रभु, जैसे जब कोई पूजा संभार में कोई कमी हो तो आचार्य गण किसी प्रतीक को ले लेते हैं, जैसे गणेश जी के लिए सुपारी या गोबर के गणेश जी बना लेते हैं, यज्ञोपवीतार्थे अक्षतान समर्पयामि कर देते हैं। रावण ने कहा मैं आचार्य हूं, यहां प्रतीक नहीं चलेगा, यज्ञ पत्नी की व्यवस्था करो। ठीक है, आचार्य का कुछ उत्तरदायित्व तो होता है, जो वस्तु यजमान न प्रस्तुत कर पाए वो आचार्य स्वयं, जैसे श्रुआ कन्निका ये सब आचार्य लोग अपनी लेके आते हैं, मालूम है किसी के आजकल कोई घर में रखता ही नहीं है। तो उन्होंने कहा जो चीजें आचार्य लेके आता उनको वापस भी ले जाता है, ध्यान रखना। और सीता को बता के आए थे वहां पर कि तुम वहां भी रावण की बंदनी रहोगी, ये ध्यान रखना। तो रघुनाथ से कहा किसी को भेजो, उस पर रथ खड़ा है, जनक निंदनी उसमें बैठी, उनको ले आओ। अब सारे बंदर भालू सिट पिट, रावण कह रहा है जनक नंदिनी को रथ में बैठाल कर ले आओ। जनक नंदिनी आई, सबने सोचा ये तो बड़ा बढ़िया मौका है, अकेला रावण है, इसको घर घेरो यहाँ पे और सीता को लेके चलो। लेकिन रघुनाथ ने बड़े श्रद्धापूर्वक आचार्य को प्रणाम किया। सीते रघुनाथ के दक्षिण दिशा में बैठ करके पहले बाम दिशा में अभिषेक किया, दाहिनी दिशा में बैठ करके इनका पूजा में सहयोग प्रदान करो। पूजन हुआ। पूजन करने के बाद रावण कहता दक्षिणा लाओ। ब्राह्मण दक्षिणा मांगता, आचार्य तो वो कर्तव्य पूरा करता है, क्योंकि मंत्रहीन और अदक्षिण कर्म पूर्ण नहीं माना जाता है। हमारे यहाँ एक महेश पाठक हैं, चतुर्वेदी, अरबपति तो होंगे ही, कम से कम उससे ज्यादा होंगे, लेकिन चतुर्वेदी भी हैं। तो उनके पास मैंने सैकड़ों रुपया, हजारों लाखों की तो मैंने गिनती कैसे करते हैं मुझे मालूम नहीं है, मैंने पूछा नहीं उनसे। लेकिन एक यजमान ने कहा आचार्य जी मुझे वो यात्रा में जा रहा हूँ, मेरे संकल्प करा दे। हाँ आओ। तो उन्होंने जल लिलवाया उसको, उतने बड़े, शायद एसएन चतुर्वेदी की बात है कि महेश की, मुझे ध्यान नहीं है, हमारे विठल के ये पुत्र हैं, बड़े प्यारे लोग हैं। तो यूं करके कराया, संकल्प करा करके उसको छोड़ कर उसने 50 रुपया दिया, 50 रुपया लेके उन्होंने जेब में रख लिया। मैंने कहा ये हुआ ब्राह्मण, ये चतुर्वेदी है, ये गरिमा है चतुर्वेदी की। हम होंगे अरबपति अपनी जगह, लेकिन यजमान का 50 रुपया भी सिर माथे लग के और जेब में रख लिया, ये ब्राह्मण। तो रावण इतना बड़ा त्रिलोकीधिपति है, लेकिन फिर दक्षिणा लाओ। तो राम ने कहा मैं जिस योग्य हूं, हमारे उसे आप आज्ञा करें। तो रावण ने कहा मुझे धन रत्न इत्यादि क्या दोगे, मेरी तो पूरी लंका ही सोने के रत्न लदे है। तो रघुनाथ ने कहा जो आज्ञा करो आचार्य चरण, अपनी सामर्थ्य भर उसको पूर्ति करूंगा। ओह, न ऐसी दक्षिणा किसी ने आज तक मांगी है, कम से कम हमारी जानकारी में नहीं है, और न कोई ऐसा देने वाला बना है। प्लीज, फिलोसफर्स एसोसिएशन में चर्चा हो रही, इन गुणों को हमको सीखना है, इसलिए कह रहा हूं। रावण ने कहा, तुम्हारे बाणों से मेरा जब अंतिम समय आवे, मेरे प्राण निकलने के पूर्व तुम कहीं भी हो, आके मेरे सामने खड़े हो जाना। तुमको देखते हुए मेरे प्राण जाने चाहिए, ये मेरी दक्षिणा। रघुनाथ जी रो, राम ने हाथ रोते हुए कहा, दत्तम, माने मैंने दिया दक्षिणा। तो रावण ने कहा, ग्रहीतम, मैंने ग्रहण कर लिया। ये राम और रावण का संबंध है। अब राम बड़े हैं कि रावण बड़े हैं, कैसे तुलना करोगे? हम लोग जानते हैं कि किस तरह से अंतिम समय में रघुनाथ ने विभीषण को जो कृत्य अत्याचार करने के लिए निर्देश दिया कि वैर तो मृत्यु पर्यंत था, अब वैर नहीं है, उसको बड़े भाई के सम्मान करो, वो बात अलग है। अपने भाई लक्ष्मण से कहा, आज एक राजनीति का सूर्य अस्त हो रहा है, जाओ उससे राजनीति के कुछ सूत्र लेकर के आओ। देखो, यहां भी एक सीखने की चीज है। लक्ष्मण तो कुछ क्षण पहले तक तो मारा काटी मची हुई थी, माता को उसने क्या रघुनाथ के ऊपर आघात किए थे। लक्ष्मण तो वैसे ही शेषनाग हैं स्वभाव से। अच्छा चलो, वैसे ना थे शेषनाग, माने क्रोध से तो आई है, अरे बड़ा सांप जैसे फुफकारते हो। तो रघुनाथ ने कहा तो गए, और ये हारा पड़ा है। तो रावण के पास जा कहते, मुझे भाई साहब ने आपके पास राजनीति का ज्ञान सीखने के लिए भेजा है। उस समय भी रावण ने ऐसे मुंह कर लिया। तो लक्ष्मण लौट करके आए, सीखा, उसने उत्तर ही नहीं दिया है, मुंह ऐसा कर। रघुनाथ ने पूछा, तुम कहाँ खड़े हुए थे? लक्ष्मण को अपनी गलती का एहसास हुआ। क्षमा करें भाई साहब, शिष्य बनना है तो चरणों में खड़ा होना। लक्ष्मण गए, अंगोछा ऐसे डाल करके, और मैं दाशरथी रामानुज लक्ष्मण, आप आचार्य रावण को प्रणाम करता हूं, आप राजनीति के महान आचार्य हैं, कृपा करके हमको कुछ निर्देश दें। तो वो क्या क्या निर्देश दिए वो तो हम अब क्या चर्चा करें। रावण ने उपदेश दिया, और रघुनाथ फिर अपना वचन का पालन करने के लिए आए दर्शन देने। और अंतिम समय भी भक्त और भगवान का विलास मानो, या राम और रावण का विलास मानो। अब शत्रु और शत्रु का विलास कहने में मुझे बड़ी हिचक लग रही है, लेकिन फिर भी रावण ने कहा, रघुनाथ, जब तक मैं जीवित रहा तुमको लंका में घुसने नहीं दिया, लेकिन तुम्हारे रहते रहते मैं तुम्हारे राज्य में वैकुंठ में जा रहा हूं, रोक सको तो रोक। ये रघुनाथ का चरित्र है। चरितम रघुनाथस्य सकोटि परिष्तर, अद्भुत चरित्र है। शत्रु के प्रति इतना आदर, इतना सम्मान। विभीषण के मन में कुछ कटुता थी, उसको दूर किया नहीं। मरणांत शत्रुता वो होती है, जाओ उनके कार्य करो, उनके उत्तरदायित्व का निर्वाह करो, मंदोदरी का सम्मान करो। प्रजाजनों का पालन कैसे किया जाता है, ये रघुनाथ की करुणा से स्पष्ट होता है। प्रजा पालन के लिए अब इस विषय में आधुनिक लोग जो भी विचार करें, आक्षेप करें, लेकिन जिस भाव से कहा जा रहा उस भाव से स्वीकार किया जाए तो प्रजा रंजन के लिए सीता जैसी प्रिया को भी उनको छोड़ने में कष्ट नहीं हुआ। ये कृपा है प्रजा के ऊपर। क्या राम भोगे हैं सीता के वियोग में, इसका बड़ा अच्छा निरूपण उत्तर रामचरित में हुआ है। अद्भुत है। राम का वियोग एकांत में किस तरह से फूट पड़ा है, बरसाती नाले की तरह। पता चलेगा कि रघुनाथ क्या पीड़ा का अनुभव कर रहे हैं। जो सुधी जन हैं उस ग्रंथ को देखेंगे तो पत्थर भी पिघल जाए, कठोर से कठोर हृदय भी आंसू बहाने लगेगा। तो रघुनाथ के चरित्र का क्या निरूपण करूं, उनकी करुणा का क्या निरूपण करूं। जिसको मारते हैं उसको भी तारते हैं, उसका भी कल्याण करते हैं। केवल एक दृष्टि है, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयः। ये रघुनाथ की दृष्टि है, ये हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति की दृष्टि है। क्योंकि रघुनाथ को संस्कार बचपन से मिले हैं। शैशवे व्यस्त विद्यानाम, शैशवे व्यस्त विद्यानाम, यौवने विशेषणाम, वार्धक्ये मनवृत्तीनाम, योगे नान्ते तनुत्यजाम। ये हमारी आर्ष परंपरा है। उस परंपरा के प्रतीक के रूप में भगवान रघुनाथ हैं और उनके चरित्र के ऊपर विचार करने के लिए ये सेमिनार आयोजित किया गया है। हम कितना साधुवाद दें इनके आयोजकों को, इस एसोसिएशन को और आदरणीय भट्ट जी को, जिनके बुद्धि में इस तरह का विषय भगवान रघुनाथ ने प्रस्फुटित किया। निश्चय ही रघुनाथ की कृपा है, कुछ न कुछ कल्याण करना चाहते हैं, इसलिए इस विषय का आपादन किया गया है। मैं रघुनाथ की इच्छा को प्रणाम करते हुए आदरणीय भट्ट जी, इस एसोसिएशन के कार्यकारी सदस्य, उनका भी वंदन करता हूं। और आप सब जो विज्ञान के माध्यम से संयुक्त हो करके और इस सेमिनार का आयोजन का आनंद ले रहे हैं, आपके प्रति भी साधुवाद और आदर भाव प्रकट करते हुए अपनी वाणी को विराम देने की अनुमति चाहता हूं। जय श्री कृष्ण।
I think let me, for the benefit of non-Hindi audience, summarize the redeeming, illuminating, and instructive benediction of His Holiness Swami Shri Gurusharnanand Maharaj. Well, it was really a treat, both intellectual as well as spiritual. He rightly began by pointing out that whether you believe Ram to be a historical person or a mythological figure, irrespective of that, the ideas and ideals that he propagated and practiced are something which is needed for the present era. I call it as our culture says Kali Yuga, where we have say innumerable ills and evils, and we need a sort of redemptive wisdom for that. So Rama has two facets. As Upanishad said, Dveve Brahmane Rupe. Rama is the Brahma, who is Nishkala, Nirguna, Nirakara, Anant, Satyam Jnanam, Anantam Brahma, etc. And the other facet is Rama, who is the Maryada Purushottama. He is we can say, of course, for Krishna is a Purna Purusha, but for Rama also we can say that he is also a Purna Purusha, because Purnat Purna Udachyate. So from Purna Brahma, whatever will be the absolute will also be Purna only. So Swamiji has very rightly emphasized the role of Maryada in different spheres of our life. And this has been represented by different figures featuring in the Ramayana. In fact, he also pointed out that Lord Rama is an embodiment of innumerable virtues, auspicious qualities. So Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta, and that's why we can have multiple approaches to the life and teachings of Lord Rama. As I said earlier, the 300 Ramayans depicting different facets of the life of Lord Rama. So the second thing which Swamiji has emphasized very rightly is the role of a Viveka, discriminative, ratioinative awareness. Because if there is no Viveka, you cannot follow Maryada, you cannot pursue Dharma, you cannot avoid adharma. So role of a Viveka, it has been very much emphasized. In fact, the qualification of a Purusha is that a Purusha is Viveki. A Purusha is a Swatantra Karta, having freedom of will. There is no antagonism between free will and discipline or Maryada. And a Purusha also is of a purposive outlook. Our life is meaningful, and the meaning or the purpose of life stands for fullest efflorescence of our potentialities and realizing perfection, Purnatva. In fact, we are Purna, but our Purna is being, say, covered up by ignorance. So we have to remove that sort of ignorance to realize the Purnatva hidden within us. So he referred to several episodes. Most significant episode was that of a Kumbhakarna. How Kumbhakarna is respectful for Ravana. To be respectful to elders is one of the salient features of Indian culture. And therefore, we have not only to be respectful, we should also be obedient. And we should discharge our duties to the elders in the most faithful way. So this is what Kumbhakarna does in respect of Ravana. But he does tell Ramana, cautions Ramana that whatever he has done was not appropriate, was not in the fitness of righteousness, and the result will be his death only. Now, another thing that he points out that this Kumbhakarna, Ravana, etc., they stand for all evil tendencies which are there in human beings or in the cosmic interplay as well. And if they are to be killed, we use the word kill, vadha, but it is not vadha, it is uddhara. Proper word is uddhara, and that's why he has given us that story also, that Ravana tells Rama that you could not enter into my kingdom so long as I was alive, but now I am entering your kingdom. The kingdom of Ram is a kingdom of virtues. It's a kingdom of all good, auspicious qualities. So we have therefore to understand this Vada in a symbolic way, that how we have to kill our inner evil tendencies and purify them, so that we realize the virtuosity which is also hidden within us. Similarly, he pointed out that Lord Rama was benevolent, was loving to the lowest of the state of society, unto the last, as Ruskin has pointed out. Mahatma Gandhi used the word Antyodaya, and Dindayal Upadhyay also reiterated that particular idea. So Lord Rama stands for Antyodaya. In fact, for Lord Rama, Char and Achar, they are also all one and the same. Siya Ram mai sab jag jani, karo pranam jori jug pani. So every Isavashya midam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. So that is the message which Lord Ram gives of sarva drashti samata. He also has referred to the story of Jatayu In fact, that is the best example of bestowing of compassion on the other. We have to be not only benevolent, but the love for others should result into service to others and working for the well-being of others. And he performed the last rituals of Jatayu like his own parents. Another episode that he has narrated is that of say inviting Ravana to perform the function of Acharya. It's a really wonderful story. Something to be emulated in contemporary times by the whole humanity. In fact, the message of Rama is not for India alone. It is for the whole world, for the whole humanity. And therefore, it is in the fitness of the situation that we always have Rama Leela performed in our country and also in some other countries outside India. In fact, there are many things. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So we can go on narrating the say, virtues and virtuous character of Lord Rama. The word Swamiji used is Charitra, Rama Charitra. So Rama Katha is there in say delineating on the characteristics of Nama, his nature and his functions. So we are really grateful to Swami Gurusharnanand Maharaj for words of wisdom. In fact, no words can express our gratitude to him, and we bow down to him for his holy, enlightening, enlivening benediction. Diyaji, now next one. Vandana, next. Next we shall have
Thank you so much, Professor S.R.Bhatt, sir.
Yep, go on. We have next video program, no? Please go on. Vandana.
Yes, our next speaker is firmly rooted in Sanatan Dharma. He is a distinguished scholar of Hinduism. With a degree in engineering from IIT Kharagpur, he is an intellectual mentor and strategic guide to various individuals and organizations dedicated to Sanatan Dharma at a global level. I bow in reverence before the Joint Secretary of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, His Holiness Swami Vigyananand Ji Maharaj, who was not able to join us, but he has sent a video clipping. And we are going to play the video clippings before we go on to our live saints. So here we have His Holiness Swami Vigyananand Ji Maharaj.
श्री राम एम्बॉडिमेंट ऑफ चर्चा का विषय है। हम सभी लोग उत्तर भारत में, दक्षिण भारत में सभी जगह रामायण के आधार पर अपना हम लोग डिस्कस करते हैं। भारत में ज्यादा प्रसिद्ध रामचरितमानस और महर्षि वाल्मीकि रामायण। वहां आप देखेंगे महर्षि वाल्मीकि जब वाल्मीकि रामायण की शुरुआत करते हैं, महर्षि वाल्मीकि महर्षि नारद से प्रश्न करते हैं, हे महर्षि, आप तो सभी विद्याओं पे जाता है, सभी लोगों के को जानने वाले हैं, आप बताइए को अश्विन सांप्रतम लोक पे पुण्यवान कश्च वीर्यवान धर्मज्ञस्य कृतज्ञस्य सत्यवाक को दृढ़ होता। ऐसा प्रश्न करते हैं कि संसार में ऐसा व्यक्ति कौन है। और तब भगवान महर्षि नारद राम जी के बारे में बहुत सारे गुणों का वर्णन करते हैं, मैं यहाँ पर वर्णन नहीं करना चाहता हूँ कि आवश्यक नहीं है विशेष संबंध। लेकिन नारद जी एक जगह कहते हैं, रक्षिता जीवलोकस्य धर्मस्य परिरक्षिता, जो जीवों के रक्षक हैं, लोगों के रक्षक है, धर्म के रक्षण करने वाले ऐसे भगवान श्री राम हैं। तो इनसे पता चलता है कि भगवान राम करुणा के साक्षात मूर्तिमंत थे, प्रतिरूप थे, स्वरूप थे। आप उसका उदाहरण कुछ मैं उदाहरण से बता रहा हूँ कि आप निषाद राज गुरु से श्रृंगवेरपुर में मिलते हैं तो बड़े प्रसन्नता के साथ उसे गले लगाते हैं, दोनों में मित्रों तो व्यवहार करते हैं, उन्हें किसी भी तरह का कोई छोटे बड़े का कोई भी भेदभाव उनके मन में नहीं है। दूसरा देखते हैं, जब वनवास जाने के बाद भरत अपनी तीनों माताओं को लेकर के उनसे चित्रकूट में मिलते हैं और उनसे कैकेयी के बारे में कठोर वचन बोलते हैं, तो भगवान राम उनसे मना करते हैं कि देखो कैकेयी हमारी माता है, उन्होंने किसी प्रकार का कोई कठोर वचन मत बोलो। इतना कठोर दंड देने के बाद जिन्होंने भगवान राम को वनवास दिलवाया, ऐसे माता कैकेयी के प्रति भी उनके मन में कठोर वचन नहीं है। जब भगवान राम दंडकारण्य जाते हैं तो दंडकारण्य में देखते हैं ऋषियों को राक्षसगण दुखी किए हुए हैं, तंग किए हुए हैं, बहुत कष्ट दे रहे हैं, तो वहां पर भी राक्षसों का जगह जगह पर वध कर ऋषियों को की रक्षा की है। ये सब उनके पता चलता है उनके मन में ऋषियों के प्रति कितनी करुणा आदर था। सबरी की कहानी सब लोग जानते हैं, सबरी के प्रति उनका उदार विचार, उनका आदर यह सबके प्रति है। सुग्रीव जब अपने बड़े भाई बाली से पीड़ित होकर उनके शरण में आए तो उनको रक्षा करते उन्होंने बाली का वध किया, सुग्रीव को उनको राज्य वापस दिलाया। यह अनदर उनका एक बड़ा करुणा का स्वरूप है, उदारता का स्वरूप है। जटायु के प्रति कृतज्ञ देखिए, पक्षीराज जटायु जो सीता के अपहरण के समय में लड़ते हैं, उनके लिए भी उन्होंने उतना ही आदर सत्कार जैसे किसी बड़े बुजुर्ग अपने सम्मानित व्यक्ति। विभीषण को रावण से पीड़ित होकर जब विभीषण आते हैं तो वहां पर देखिए भगवान राम राक्षस वध करते हैं, रावण वध करते हैं, लंका विजय करते हैं, सीता को मुक्त कराते हैं। अंत में फिर उन्होंने राज्य में जाएंगे तो वहां के मंदिरों को भगवान राम विभीषण का राज्याभिषेक कर रहे हैं और पुनः वापस आते हैं। इन सब चीजों से पता चलता है भगवान राम में करुणा फूट फूट भरी थी, वो स्वरूप थे। और आज का चर्चा वो अच्छा है, साधुवाद देता हूँ। नमस्ते।
Is it over?
Yes, it is over, sir.
Okay. Let me summarize in English again, very briefly. Swamiji has begun by saying that Lord Rama is a storehouse of all virtues, all auspicious attributes, and that's why we adore him, we love him, and we worship him. Lord Rama has no discrimination for anyone, high or low, all are equal for him, and therefore he cares for all, loves for all, and that sort of equanimity, that is a characteristic of a santa, of a saintly person. Well, Lord Rama embodies that. He also points out that he doesn't have any hatred or any jealousy for anyone, including Kekeyi, who was responsible for sending him to forest for banishing him. Likewise, he points out, Swamiji pointed out the episode of Shabari, who is an embodiment of love and devotion, and Lord Rama eats fruits half eaten by Shabari. He also referred to protection of the saints and virtuous people, and protection from, because as later on in the Bhagavad Gita we say, Paritranaya sadhunam and vinashaya cha dushkritam. The evil tendencies need to be curbed, and the good ones have to be promoted. And Lord Rama and also subsequently Lord Krishna have propagated this particular ideal. Then he referred to Jatayu, and respect Lord Ram showed for Jatayu, who is an elderly person. And in fact, Jatayu is not only an elderly person, he is in fact a part and parcel of his own being, because Ram represents the Parabrahma. So, and Lord Rama does not have any feeling of selfishness, self-effacement. That's why when Bali was killed, the kingdom was given to Sugriva. Ram did not usurp it. Similarly, when Ravana was killed, the kingdom was given to Vibhishana, and Lord Rama stayed in Lanka for Raj Abhishek of Vibhishana. And he told Vibhishana also how he should govern Lanka. So, in fact, Lord Rama represents a multifaceted personality. And therefore, the more we read about Lord Rama, the more we learn about virtuosity which we have to emulate. So it was also a very good treat, and we are grateful to Pujya Swamiji for, though he is busy elsewhere, he could make it a point to give his benediction by way of this video presentation. So we are really grateful to him. Over to Jia now. Dia.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Our next speaker is a saint who is dedicated to the service of all, from contribution towards education, health, youth welfare, and vocational training to working for animals, environment, and the Ganges. His contribution is unmatched. With utmost joy, I welcome the President of Parmarth Niketan, His Holiness Swami Chidanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj. Pranams to you, Maharaj.
Swamiji, will you speak in Hindi or English?
Swamiji, can you hear us?
Swamiji?
I think there's some problem.
Voice is cracking.
Yes, yes, there is a problem.
म्यूट कर
Swamiji, there is a problem with your audio. We can't hear you. No, Swamiji.
Now is okay.
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Oh, asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय हो शान्तिः शान्तिः शांति अभी हमने आदरणीय पूज्यपाद कार्शनी पीठाधीश्वर महामंडलेश्वर पूज्यपाद स्वामी गुरुशरणानंद जी महाराज एवं उसके तुरंत ही बाद आदरणीय पूज्य स्वामी विज्ञानानंद जी महाराज तथा पूज्य स्वामी जी महाराज का भाषांतर अंग्रेजी में हमारे हिंदू धर्म विश्वकोश इंसाइक्लोपीडिया ऑफ हिंदुइज्म में जिन्होंने बड़ी परिश्रम के साथ अपने ज्ञान की आहुतियां दी, ऐसे हमारे श्री प्रोफेसर S.R. भट्ट साहब जिन्होंने उनका अनुवाद किया, और मेरे समक्ष अभी मैं दर्शन कर रहा हूं इस देश के बड़े ही प्यारे संत जिन्होंने बचपन से अपने जीवन को हिंदू धर्म के लिए समर्पित किया। अब भगवान श्री राम जन्मभूमि में निर्मित हो रहे भगवान श्री राम के पवित्र प्राकट्य स्थल पर बनने जा रहे विशाल श्री राम जन्मभूमि मंदिर जो अपनी अद्भुत सेवाएं दे रहे हैं, ऐसे मेरे प्रिय अभिन्न आदरणीय पूज्यपाद स्वामी गोविंद गिरी जी महाराज, आदरणीय पूज्य स्वामी हरिप्रसाद जी महाराज, पूज्य स्वामी आत्मानंद जी महाराज, आदरणीय साध्वी भगवती सरस्वती जी, और साथ ही संस्कृति और समाज की सेवा में लगी मेरी प्रिय डॉक्टर वंदना शर्मा जी, श्री कौशलेंद्र सिंह जी, एवं आज विज्ञान के इस करिश्मे के माध्यम से सुन रहे मेरे सभी भाई बहन। कोरोना महामारी ने पूरे विश्व की गतिविधियों पर लगाम लगाई, और इस समय जनमानस को ऊर्जावान बनाए रखने के लिए ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि वेबिनार के माध्यम से हम सबको जोड़ें और सबसे जुड़े। भगवान श्री राम मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम की मर्यादाओं के बारे में पूज्य महाराज श्री ने बड़ी दिव्यता के साथ वर्णन किया। प्रभु श्री राम एक पूर्ण आदर्श चरित्र और धर्म के साक्षात दिव्य स्वरूप, रामो विग्रहवान धर्मा, अनंत और अखंड प्रेम के सागर, और श्री राम तो करुणा के मूर्धन्य स्वरूप है। आज उनके कंपैशन पे हम चर्चा कर रहे हैं। वे करुणा के सागर हैं। उन्होंने ना केवल दीन दुखियों को, उनकी तकलीफों को, उनके दर्दों को समझा, बल्कि उनके दुखों को दूर करने के लिए स्वयं समर्पित हो गए। इसलिए तो कहा जाता है कि राम राज्य में भाईचारा, सद्भाव और असहायों की सहायता, दीन दुखियों का दर्द वे अपना दर्द समझते थे। वे हमेशा तैयार रहते थे दुखी और पीड़ितों, कमजोर और वंचित वर्गों को उनका अधिकार दिलाने के लिए, उनकी सहायता करने के लिए वे सदैव तत्पर रहे। ये उनकी वनवास यात्रा का दर्शन है। भगवान श्री राम के जीवन का उद्देश्य ही दूसरों को प्रसन्नता देना था। कैसे कैसे कष्ट आए, कैसी कैसी समस्याएं आई, उसकी चर्चा मैं नहीं कर रहा हूं अभी, क्योंकि समय की मर्यादा है। लेकिन सबके दुखों को बांटना और सबको प्रसन्नता देना, इसलिए वे समाज के वास्तविक स्वरूप से जुड़ पाए। चाहे शबरी जी हों या केवट हों, गीधराज हों या निषाद राज हों, सभी को गले लगाया। प्रेम से झूठे बेर भी खाए। आदरणीय जो गोविंद गिरी जी महाराज यहाँ विराजमान हैं, जब आरती में यहाँ विराजते हैं परमार्थ निकेतन ऋषिकेश में, तो अपने एक गीत रोज गाते हैं हम लोग, सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई, सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई, ये हम लोग रोज गाते हैं। शबरी के बेर सुदामा के तंदुल, रुच रुच भोग लगाई, सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई। ये जो भाव है ना, बड़ा प्यारा है। सारी करुणा का सागर बह रहा है इसके पीछे। उनके करुणा और त्याग की पराकाष्ठा तो देखिए, पिता की आज्ञा का पालन करने के लिए सर्वस्व त्याग करके वन गमन किया और राजकुमार से वनवासी बन गए, और फिर कहीं कोई ऐसी चिन्हित रेखा नहीं चेहरे पर। और क्या प्यारी पंक्ति है, पिता दीन मोहे कानन राजू, वही मुस्कान, नो थकान, ये है उनका दर्शन। सनातन संस्कृति के उन्नायक भगवान श्री राम ने जिस तरह से अपने ही जीवन दर्शन से मानव को एक दर्शन कराया है, आज के युग में बहुत आवश्यकता है। इसलिए भगवान श्री राम का ये बन रहा विशाल मंदिर केवल मंदिर नहीं है, ये राष्ट्र मंदिर की नींव है। राष्ट्र के उत्थान के लिए जिस चरित्र की आवश्यकता है, जिस आदर्श की आवश्यकता है, उसका दर्शन कराते हैं मेरे प्रभु श्री राम। इसलिए आइए, करुणा तो देखिए कि माता कैकेयी और पिता की आज्ञा का निर्विरोध किस तरह से पालन किया। महाराज श्री चर्चा कर रहे थे, बहुत कुछ था, बहुत कुछ कर सकते थे, कह सकते, सत्ता में बहुत कुछ होता है, लेकिन यह बात सत्ता की नहीं थी, बात सत्य की थी। और फिर जब वापस लौटे, सबसे पहले माता कैकेयी के पास दर्शनार्थ पहुंचे। ये उनकी करुणा, अद्भुत करुणा का दर्शन, कि माता कैकेयी पर क्या बीती होगी इन 14 वर्षों में। इस दृश्य का दर्शन तो करें, अब अनुभव तो करें। ये सारे दर्शन अपनी चरित्रों के माध्यम से उन्होंने हमें सबको करवाया। पुत्र धर्म को निभाया तो पति धर्म को भी बखूबी निभाया। माता सीता की रक्षा मर्यादा और सम्मान के लिए, कि मां संस्कृति की, सीता की रक्षा नहीं थी, ये संस्कृति की रक्षा थी। रामायण की मां सीता और महाभारत की गीता, ये दोनों अपनी संस्कृतियां हैं। तो भगवान श्री राम ने धर्म युद्ध किया, और आज यही जरूरत है नारियों के प्रति ऐसे सम्मान की, उनकी रक्षा के प्रति सजग होने की। सखा धर्म निभाते हुए विभीषण और सुग्रीव के प्राणों की रक्षा करके उनका सम्मान और गौरव वापस लौटाया, गौरव वापस दिलवाया। और भाई भाई के बीच प्रेम कैसा हो, उसका दर्शन करना हो, तो भी श्री राम, भरत, लक्ष्मण और शत्रुघ्न के बीच जो अगाध प्रेम और करुणा का समर्पण है, जो सागर बह रहा है प्रेम का, क्या अद्भुत है, क्या अलौकिक है। भाइयों के बीच तकरार भी हुई, पर गद्दी के लिए नहीं, गद्दी के लिए नहीं, बल्कि पादुका के लिए। भोग के लिए नहीं, बल्कि त्याग के लिए। महल के लिए नहीं, बल्कि मर्यादाओं के लिए। अयोध्या राज्य की गेंद बनाकर खेलने लगे खिलाड़ी, इधर राम और उधर भरत, दोनों ने ठोकर मारी। और ये है प्रेम जो जीवन पर्यंत बना रहा। लोक वनवास जाने का दूसरा उद्देश्य यह भी था कि अपने प्रजा के दुखों और परेशानियों का स्वयं अनुभव कर फिर उसका समाधान करना, ये करुणा भरे हृदय का दर्शन है। एक एक कुटिया में जाके ऋषियों का हाल जानना, और उन्होंने धरती पर रहने वाले सभी प्राणियों को समान सम्मान, आदर और प्रेम दिया। और भक्त और भगवान का जो अद्वितीय उदाहरण है, इसका यदि दर्शन करना उनके चरित्र में, तो श्री राम और हनुमान जी का जो प्रेम मिलन है, उन्होंने इसका दर्शन कराया। और राष्ट्र और संस्कृति की रक्षा को भगवान श्री राम ने हमेशा अपने चरित्र के द्वारा सर्वोपरि माना है। सत्यमेव जयते, सत्य की सदा विजय होती है का ये संदेश दिया। पूरा जीवन समता और सद्भाव के सेतु बनाए, राष्ट्र सेतु का निर्माण किया। भगवान श्री राम ने समरसता के सेतु बनाए और जन सामान्य की तरह जीवन जिया और सामान्य व्यक्ति के जीवन में आने वाली समस्याओं का सामना किया। उन्होंने जीवन में चमत्कार नहीं बल्कि संघर्ष किया। उनका जीवन किसी चमत्कार से कम नहीं है। जंगल के भालू, बंदर, रीछ, गिलहरी एक तरफ से तो मदद ले रहे हैं और दूसरी तरफ अपनी करुणा बिखेर रहे हैं। और उनकी इच्छा शक्ति से विशाल सागर पार करने के हेतु एक एक पत्थर जोड़ के पुल का निर्माण किया। क्या कुशल प्रबंधन और धैर्य का परिचय है। वे एक प्रजापालक भी हैं, एक राजा भी हैं, आदर्श पुत्र भी हैं और कर्तव्यनिष्ठ पति, प्रेम से ओतप्रोत भ्राता, समर्पित सखा, कर्तव्यपरायण शिष्य के रूप में संयमित, संस्कारित और मर्यादित जीवन जीने वाले अद्भुत आदर्श हैं मेरे प्रभु। सागर सी गहराई और हिमालय जैसा धैर्य, कैसा जीवन है उनका। भगवान श्री राम की गौरव गाथा संघर्ष और साहस का उत्कृष्ट उत्तम उदाहरण मुझे तो लगता है प्रस्तुत करता है उनका जीवन। उनका जीवन अमृत की वो रसधार है जिसकी हर बूंद से एक महाकाव्य, एक महाग्रंथ लिखा जा सकता है। हम सौभाग्यशाली हैं कि प्रभु श्री राम हम सबके आराध्य हैं। प्रभु श्री राम की शरण, उनके चरण और उनका आचरण हमारे जीवन का पाथेय बने, संबल बने। आइए प्रभु श्री राम जी ने जो शिक्षाएं दी उसे अपनाकर अपने जीवन को पवित्र बनाते हुए राष्ट्र मंदिर का निर्माण करें। जात पात, ऊंच नीच और भेदभाव की दीवारों को तोड़े, दरारों को भरे, दिलों को जोड़े। बस यही प्रभु से प्रार्थना है। हम सभी कोरोना काल में भगवान श्री राम की करुणा का स्मरण करते हुए अपने जीवन को कोरोना से करुणा की ओर समर्पित कर सकें और बिना किसी भेदभाव के समाज सेवा में जुड़ जाएं। बस यही हम सबके जीवन का लक्ष्य हो। आज गोपाष्टमी है। हम सब ने परमार्थ निकेतन में गंगा के पावन तट पर यहाँ पूजन किया, माँ गंगा की पूजा की, गौओं की पूजा की और गोपाष्टमी मनाई। मुझे आज कहना है, आज का परम पावन दिवस केवल पूजन करके हम पूर्ण ना कर लें। पूजन में हमारी धन्यता है, पूजन जीवन को पवित्र करता है, लेकिन इसके साथ ही मुझे लगता है हमें कुछ संकल्प भी लेने हैं। हमें संकल्प लेने हैं। सबसे पहले तो शुभकामनाएं मैं देना चाहूंगा आज के दिवस पर। और दूसरी बात मैं याद दिलाना चाहता हूं, हमारे देश में कृषि और ऋषि दोनों महान संस्कृतियां हैं। हमें गौ कल्चर और गंगा कल्चर की ओर लौटना है, क्योंकि माँ गंगा जीवन दायिनी है और गौमूत्र केवल गौमूत्र नहीं बल्कि अमृत है। कृषि और ऋषि दो संस्कृतियां हैं। ऋषि संस्कृति जिसने हमें संस्कृति दी, सभ्यता दी और गौरवमय इतिहास दिया, और जिससे हम अपने संस्कारों को लेकर आगे बढ़ सके। दूसरा है कृषि कल्चर, कृषि संस्कृति, वो भी ऋषियों की ही देन है। उन ऋषियों ने संदेश दिया कि अगर कृषि को बचाएंगे और कृषि को बचाए रखना है तो गौ माता को बचाए रखना होगा। इस कोरोना काल में हम गाय कल्चर और गंगा कल्चर की ओर वापस लौटें। माँ गंगा के पावन जल की बड़ी महिमा है। वैसे ही गौ माता के गौमूत्र से बने अर्क का सेवन करने से भी शरीर स्वस्थ और निरोगी रहता है। गंगा और गौ भारत की विशेषता है, इसे भूल ना जाएं हम लोग। हमारे देश में पाई जाने वाली देसी गौएं कल्पतरु से कम नहीं है। गौ के दूध से बने सभी उत्पाद बहुत ही लाभदायक हैं। गौमूत्र केवल मूत्र नहीं बल्कि मुझे तो अमृत जैसा लगता है। आइए गौ और गंगा संस्कृति को अपनाएं, स्वस्थ और निरोगी जीवन बना रहेगा। भगवान श्री राम कृष्ण ने तो खुद ही गौ माता की सेवा कर हमें संदेश दिया है। आज के दिनों ने गौ माता की गौचारण किया था, इस शुरुआत की थी। वही आचरण आज हम अपने जीवन में लाएं और उन्हें यह संदेश दिया कि गौ माता के समान है और पूजनीय है। धरती पर संतुलन बनाए रखने के लिए मनुष्य के साथ सभी जीव जंतुओं का धरती पर होना नितांत आवश्यक। दैट्स व्हाई वी से वी आर नॉट ओनली वर्शिपर ऑफ लवर ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, वी वर्शिप आवर लिविंग बीइंग्स। सभी जीवों में मुझे तो गाय बहुत ही अत्यंत कोमल हृदय वाली और बड़ी उपयोगी प्राणी है। गाय को संरक्षण हम प्रदान करें और उनका संवर्धन करें, क्योंकि गाय हिंदू संस्कृति का प्रतीक है। मुझे तो लगता है आज हमने जब यज्ञ किया प्रातःकाल सभी ऋषि कुमारों के साथ, गोबर के उपलों से निश्चय किया है कि हम गोबर के उपलों से ही अपने सभी संस्कार करें। तो पक्का मानिए, बहुत सारी बातें हैं लेकिन समय की मर्यादा है। 14 मिनट हो गए हैं, 15वां मिनट मैं इसी में बिताऊंगा कि हम संकल्प करें, हम सब संकल्प करें कि हम गौ से बने हुए दुग्ध से बनी हुई उन वो भी देसी गौ मिठाइयों का लें, अपने जीवन के डेली व्यवहार में उपयोग करें। तो केवल इतना ही नहीं बल्कि गौ के चमड़े से बनी हुई बहुत सारे लोग बेल्ट पहनते हैं, पर्स रखते हैं, कारें जो होती हैं उनमें चमड़ा उपयोग होता है, वैसे जूते पहनते हैं। अगर हम इन सब चीजों से अपने को दूर रखेंगे, गौ को आर्थिकी से जोड़ेंगे, अध्यात्म से जोड़ेंगे, तो मैं समझता हूँ बहुत सारे कामों को किया जा सकता है। और अंतिम बात, हम अपने संस्कार जो हैं लकड़ी से करते हैं। इस देश के 7 करोड़ के लगभग पेड़ कट जाते हैं अंतिम संस्कार के लिए। अगर हम ये पक्का करें कि हम गौ के गोबर से बनी हुई लकड़ी से संस्कार करेंगे, पक्का मानिए 6 से 7-8 करोड़ पेड़ बचेंगे और साथ ही साथ गौ माता का संरक्षण होगा, पर्यावरण बचेगा और बहुत सारी बातें इसके साथ जुड़ी हुई हैं। मैं अभी, क्योंकि समय की मर्यादा ठीक 15 मिनट हो गए हैं, भगवान श्री राम के गुणगान करते हुए मुझे लगा आज गौपाष्टमी है, उसके लिए भी मेरे अपने वचनों को प्रभु के चरणों में समर्पित करूं तो मेरी धन्यता होगी। तो अपने समय का उस तरह से उपयोग करते हुए आपने ये अवसर दिया। सभी की साधना को प्रणाम करते हुए, आज के इस अवसर की धन्यता को प्रणाम करते हुए मेरी वाणी को विराम देता हूं। इसी तरह के कार्यक्रम जो समय की आवश्यकता है, ये दिव्य चरित्र हमारे जीवन की दिव्यता और भव्यता को बढ़ाए। इसी के साथ ही मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूं। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। English, the ennobling, enlightening, and instructive benediction of Pujya Swami Chidanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj. You have rightly begun by saying that this pandemic corona has given us an opportunity with the help of science and technology to come together, because this is also an international seminar and we have participants from abroad, and therefore it is a very happy occasion that we are coming together, having deliberation on important aspects of our life and living. You have described, as it has been done in the tradition also, Bhagwan Rama is a Dharma Vigraha. Vigrahavan Dharma. So, in fact, he has practiced Dharma in every walk of life. All stations of life, having their respective duties, have been duly discharged by Lord Rama. Dharma, in fact, has three facets. It sustains, dharana dharmityaho. It regulates, chodna lakshano artho dharma. And it enhances our existence, both physical and spiritual. So, abhrudaya nishya siddhisa dharma. And therefore, Bhagwan Ram, through his life and teachings, has catered to all these dimensions of dharma. So, you have rightly emphasized this, that he is a dharma vigraha. If we follow dharma in all walks of life, then our life will be holy, our family will be cordial and having concard, our society also will have some sort of amity, and the nation also will get its fullest development, and it will ultimately lead to world peace and prosperity. So therefore, practice of dharma is very much needed. And dharma rajya, therefore, I would say there should be, vyakti should be dharmic, society should be dharmic, the nation should be dharmic, the state should be dharmic, and the whole world should be dharmic. So when we say, let Karnantu Vishnu, let the whole world be Arya, Arya means civilized, practicing dharma. So you have rightly pointed out the role of dharma. You have referred to three virtues. I shall dwell upon them later on: Satya, Prem, and Karuna. Morari Bapu also has a slogan, Satya, Prem, and Karuna. These are the three cardinal virtues which we find in the life of Lord Rama, and they need to be emulated for redeeming the suffering in the universe and also bring happiness and prosperity in the universe. Swamiji has referred to Gopashtami. In fact, we are toying with this idea of having the next webinar on Gomata. So, in fact,
very clear. I'm listening with this.
Direction for that.
If you want to do there.
There is something called cow therapy. So we shall be trying to have how this cow therapy can be employed for well-being of the individual, of the society, of the nation, and the world at large. Well, importance of cow need not be highlighted. Well, everyone should respect the cow like one's mother. So we shall seek your kind guidance as to how to go about in organizing that particular webinar on Gomata and say Gopala Krishna. We will combine the two, Gomata and Gopala Krishna, and because it is Krishna who is a protector of the cow, and cow is symbolic also not only of the physical being but our own existence, our senses, our mind. They need to be properly catered to, and therefore we have this thing. So we are really grateful to Pujya Swamiji for highlighting some of these ideas, and the main point that he has referred to is about Karuna. We have to have love for others. We should have the feeling of service to others, well-being of others, and those who are needy, those who need help should be properly catered to. So we are thankful to you, Pujya Swamiji, for your benediction. Next, over to Diya Vandana. Over to hello. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. It was a delight hearing you, and thank you so much, Professor S.R. Bhatt, Our next speaker is a distinguished and celebrated scholar of the highest order. He holds his own through the lengths and breadths of the globe. People are awestruck by his discourses on the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and many more. He is dedicated to serving varied causes and works meticulously towards the upliftment of all lives. With folded hands and glee, I welcome the treasurer of the Ayodhya Ram Mandir Trust, His Holiness Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj. Pranam Swamiji. A warm welcome.
वंदे वाणी नायकौ
Swamiji, unmute yourself,
आपदामपहर्तारं
please.
दातारं सर्वसंपदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्. I congratulate all the organizers and directly go to my topic because the time that has been given is just 10 to 12 minutes. Much is to be spoken. If I speak in Hindi and again Ayodhya Bhatt translates it into English, it shall take double time. And therefore, for the convenience of all the organizers and the audience, let me try to speak in English, though I'm not habituated for that, but I will try. And Bhagavan Shri Ram will have that much compassion upon me to make me able to express myself. Friends, the Rama Katha, the Valmiki Ramayana, is a story based on compassion. While remembering Shri Ram, we sing Lokabhiramam Ranangadhiram Rajivanetram Raghuvamshanatham Karunyanupam Karunakarantam Shri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadye. Bhagavan Shri Ram is called Karunya Rupa and Karunakara. He is compassion embodied, compassion incarnate, and has always been doing compassion for all, is showering compassion on everybody. Really speaking, Bhagavan Shri Ram, who is the hero of Ramayana in the poetic sense, the Rama Katha has come out just because of compassion. There was one episode once Maharishi Valmiki saw a scene, a bird being hurt by one person, and at the same moment, some expression came out of his mind, out of his mouth. And that was through compassion. Compassion for the bird, the Krauncha Pakshi. Kalidas has depicted it that the great poet Kalidas says, his shloka came out as a shloka. And the basic rasa there is compassion. Ma nishad pratishthantvam agamas shashwati samaha yat krauncha mithunadekam avadhi kamamohitam. This is Maharishi Valmiki's compassion for that bird, the Krauncha Pakshi. And then came Ramakatha, and the hero of Ramakatha, that is Bhagavan Shri Ram, who is really speaking the Lord the Almighty, who has come in the form of a human being to teach us how to behave, the Charitra of Ram is to be learned by all of us, and therefore Bhagavan Shri Ram always kept in the limit of human being. There is not a single miracle in life of Bhagavan Shri Ram. If in Rama Katha you find any miracle, you will find it with Hanuman only, not with Ram. I'm not here to deliver Rama Katha, but the main theme of Bhagavan Shri Ram is compassion. And that we see from beginning to the end. We see when Bhagavan Shri Ram comes with Vishwamitra Maharshi, Vishwamitra Maharshi asks him, this Tatika is a woman, shall you kill her? And what was his answer? What was his reply? Bhagavan Shri Ram said, Go Brahmana hitarthaya, deshasya hitaya cha. Because all the scholars are being killed, Go Mata is being killed, and the common run of mankind, they are tortured every day by these demons, and therefore killing all such persons is my first duty, just to be compassionate to the common person. Do you remember Shakespeare saying, I must be cruel only to be kind. There is kindness in the cruelty. Bhagavan Shri Ram did fight. He came for fighting. Bhagavad Gita says, Ramashtatra Bhutamaham. Bhagavan Shri Ram is incarnate valor, not just Satya, Prema and Karuna. Please try to understand. Satya, Prema and Karuna, the Rishis also had got, but they could not survive. They survived just because of the arrow of Bhagavan Shri Ram, the bow of Bhagavan Shri Ram. Bhagavan Shri Ram is incarnate Purusharth first, but his Purusharth, his valor, is just to be kind to the common person, because they were tortured like anything, just like the people all over the world are being killed by the fanatics. People were killed. You'll see in Vanavas, heaps and heaps of bones of rishis were kept there just to frighten people. Kill one and frighten 10,000. That is the slogan of all the terrorists. And the whole south was full of terrorists. And killing these people, including Ravan, was the compassion of Bhagavan Shri Ram for the mankind. Try to understand. In Durga Saptashati, this slok occurs, very beautiful slok. Chitte krupa samaranyashthurata chadrishta tayyeva devi varade bhuvanatrayepi chitte krupa samaranyashthurata. The Jagdamba, Jagannmata, the Devi, goddess, had compassion in her bosom, in her heart, but she was very hard while she fought. Because if you want to save mankind, if you want to save the weaker sections of the mankind, you will have to be strong enough. And that strength was Bhagavan Shri Ram. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya dushkrutam. Vinashaya dushkrutam is very important if you want to save the sadhus. And therefore, Bhagavan Shri Ram, who was compassion incarnate, compassion personified, he delivered his compassion on everybody. This is limited time, my friends, but for Dasharatha also, he had a sense of compassion, had Bhagavan Shri Ram would not have gone to the forest, the stigma of telling lie would have been there on the fair face of the earth forever. Nobody could have removed Bhagavan Shri Ram from Ayodhya. The legal fight was to be given by Lakshman, and he would have won, sure. But Bhagavan Shri Ram said, no, it's not duty of his son. I should go to the forest. I have taken the decision, and just because that is the only way to save my dear father from the blame of telling lies. That is compassion. He had compassion on Ahalya. There was a stigma on the face of Ahalya. And when Vishwamitra Maharshi told the story of Ahalya and said that now it depends upon you, Shri Ram, to choose whether to accept her or not. Bhagavan Shri Ram, without telling a word, just went there and did not touch with his holy feet, but he touched the feet of Bhagawati Ahalya. And that moment, Ahalya was universally accepted as a Devi again. That is compassion of Bhagavan Shri Ram. What compassion is, you will find when, while returning from the forest, Chitrakoot, he told Shatrughna, see, there is oath of myself and also Bhagavati Sita. Shatrughna said, what for? He said, Sarvatharshakaikeim, ma krodham kurutam prati. I am giving a responsibility of saving Bhagavati Kaikei from any criticism by anybody for coming 14 years upon your shoulders. Sarvatharshakaikeim, ma rosham krutukam prati. Maya cha sitaya chaiva shaptosi raghunandana. Maya cha sitaya chaiva shaptosi raghunandana. Kaikei Mata had damaged the whole dynasty like anything. But yet Bhagavan Shri Ram had that much compassion. Why only that? Even for Ravana, what compassion he had. Though it was a terrible war. But even after the war, when Ravana was dead, and lying down, Vibhishan was not ready to touch his body, his dead body. Bhagavan Shri Ram said, what are you doing? It's not fair for a brother to behave like this. Go. Now there is no enmity at all. Maranantani vairani. Maranantani vairani. Nivrittanna prayojanam. And after that he says, if you don't do the funeral of Ravan as your brother, do it as my brother. Ravan is also my brother. Kriyatam asya samskaro mamapyesha yatha tava. Since Ravan is your brother and you are mine, Ravan also is my brother. There was a war. It had some reasons, but now they have gone. They are finished. Now you must respect him. That is compassion. This is called Krodha Vihina Veeraras. He had the valor, but he did not have the anger. Valor without anger you will see only in two personalities. Bhagavan Shri Ram of Ramayana and Bhishma in Mahabharata. The whole life of Bhagavan Shri Ram is full of compassion. His compassion for the Vanavasis, the forestiers, the Kol, Bhilla, Kiratas, Bhagavati Shabari, that can be described like anything, but through his compassion only he had come to set the ideal of human life in front of us. If we follow Bhagavan Shri Ram, Dharma follows us, and therefore let us take, at least to try to follow Bhagavan Shri Ram. This type of seminars or webinars are required to set his example in front of the youth today, and therefore bestowing my pranams to all revered orators in front of me and congratulating the organizers, I stop. Thank you.
Please invite the next speaker.
Anek dhanyavad, Swamiji. That was indeed wonderful. Our next speaker has earned herself a PhD from the Stanford University, and she decided to dedicate her entire life for the sake of cosmic welfare. She thus took up sannyas in the year 2000 and was initiated by her guru, His Holiness Swami Chidanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj. Today, she actively promotes causes such as vegetarianism, working towards ending poverty, promoting environmental welfare, and the list goes on. I feel extremely honored to welcome the President of Divine Shakti Foundation, Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati Ji. Pranam, Sadhvi Ji.
It's such a joy and honor to be together with you today, and such deep, heartfelt, humble pranam at the feet of Puja Swami Gurusharnanand Maharaj and all of the revered saints who have blessed us with their darshan and their words today. Samay ki maryada ki wajah se main sabhi ka naam nahi lungi, na main yehi keh paungi ki how I have been so blessed by each of the saints. Kyunki mujhe malum hai that we are running late, lekin main sabko pranam karti hoon. And it's such a joy to be with also our distinguished professor, Shri S.R.Bhatt ji, who I have beautiful memories of throughout the project of our Encyclopedia of Hinduism, the world's first historic 11-volume Encyclopedia of Hinduism, जो पूज्य स्वामी चिदानंद जी की आशीर्वाद से, उनकी दृष्टि से, उनकी प्रेरणा से, उनकी शक्ति से, took 25 years, and with the great dedication of our Professor Bhatt ji and so many professors from all around the globe finally came to fruition. So it's wonderful to see Professor S.R. Bhatt ji again as well. And all of my sisters and brothers joining from around the world. जब हम बात करते हैं भगवान श्री राम और करुणा, सबसे पहले मैं यही कह सकती हूँ that I have seen in my own life, my personal life, the incredible grace of the compassion of the divine. मैं खुद जब भारत में आए करीब 25 वर्ष पूर्व, मैं 25 साल की थी, एक स्टूडेंट थी, मुझे कुछ हिंदुइज्म के बारे में, कुछ सनातन धर्म के बारे में, कुछ भारत के बारे में कुछ भी मालूम नहीं था. मैंने कभी कुछ साधना नहीं की, ना कुछ ध्यान की, ना कुछ ऐसे स्टडी की that is in alignment with the culture, the tradition. Many psychology study ki, many neurology study ki. Lekin Bhagwan ki itna infinite compassion se, unhone mujhko ऐसा अनुभव दिया, ऐसे दर्शन दी, ऐसे आशीर्वाद दी, ऐसे कृपा दी, that my entire life changed. My entire life was transformed. So मैं यहाँ शुरू करना चाहती हूँ कि स्वयं मैंने भगवान की दया ऐसे दर्शन की, how it has transformed, touched my life, and how in these last 25 years living in India, I have been so incredibly blessed, not through anything I had done, not through anything I knew, but simply due to this graceful compassion and compassionate grace of the divine, of Bhagwan Shri Ram. और मुझे याद है जो सबसे पहले पुस्तक पूज्य स्वामी जी ने मुझे दी सनातन धर्म के बारे में पढ़ने was the Ramayana. And I can still see it today. एक छोटा सा paperback भारतीय विद्या भवन की publication. It was written by C. Rajagopalacharya ji. मुझे याद है मैंने एक ही रात पूरी पढ़ा. I stayed awake all night long. और अगले दिन सुबह में पूज्य स्वामी जी के पास गए, आंखों में आंसू. And I was so touched by the divinity of Bhagwan Shri Ram, so touched by the devotion of Hanuman, and that power, that Shakti, that miracle, when devotion and compassion come together. The compassion of the divine and the devotion of the devotee. And that we realize when we speak about the compassion of God, we have to talk about the devotion of the devotee, because that is the glory of this beautiful tradition of bhakti, where we dive with love, with joy, consciously into this ocean of devotion. And in that ocean of devotion, we are met and graced by the ocean of compassion, Karuna Sindhu. यहाँ हर रोज सुबह परमार्थ निकेतन में हमारे प्रार्थना में हम गाते हैं एक beautiful prayer to the Guru. Hey mere Gurudev, Karuna Sindhu Karuna Kijiye. The ocean of compassion. But from our side, the recipients of that ocean of compassion, how can we be an ocean of devotion? Because if you go through the Ramayana, if you go through the scriptures, what you realize is Bhagwan ka compassion sabke liye hai, bina koi bhi bedbhav. Lekin those who benefit the most from it, those who are connected and touched the most to it, are those who are devoted. Shorpanaka or Shabri ko dekhiye. Shorpanaka, it's one of my favorite stories. These days, everybody's so stuck in Sundarta ka chakkar, fancy cheese ki chakkar, accessories or makeup or jewelry ki chakkar. And we see Shorpanaka gaye Bhagwan ke paas. All the beautiful accessories. But he wasn't interested. Lekin Shabri, bina koi accessory, bina koi makeup, bina koi bhi sundarta ka chakkar, was such an embodiment of devotion. Ki her devotion brought God. Unki bhakti, Bhagwan ko khinch liya. It brought Bhagwan Ram to her doorstep. And that is the message for us. We pray. We pray to God. We pray for grace. We pray for compassion. Karuna kijiye. But in order for that ocean of compassion to really touch our lives, We have to find at least a drop, chalo ocean nahi, but kam se kam ek drop of devotion within us. And this is where Hanumanji is the embodiment, the one who teaches us, who shows us the way. There's so many beautiful teachings, but मैं केवल एक ही शेयर करूंगी कि जो मेरा personal favorite है कि after the war जब सभी ने उनसे पूछा कि हनुमान जी आपने सारे miracles ये सब कैसे किया आपने? How did you become so big, then so small? How did you fly across the ocean? How did you carry the Himalayas in your hand? Hanuman ji ne ye nahi kaha ki, well, I've been going to the gym every day, doing very special mountain lifting exercises or very special ocean crossing exercises. No. Or ye bhi nahi kaha ki, oh, I've been taking some very special tonic, kuch special vitamins laid on, जिससे सारी शक्ति आते हैं. और ये भी नहीं बोला कि I have a sacred mantra, some special mantra I have जिससे सारे powers आते हैं. क्या कहा उन्होंने? He said, I just take Bhagwan Ram's name and it happens. It happens. That is the miracle of devotion. Ye bhakti ki shakti. The power of love. The power of devotion. And this is the greatest lesson for us. Last. Jab hum Bhagwan ka daya ke liye prarthana karte hain, when we pray to God for grace, for compassion, for blessings, we have to make sure that we are ready to receive them. मुझे याद है जब मैं पहले भारत में आई और मैं पूज्य स्वामी जी से पूछ रहे थे कि how do we get God's grace? How do we get God's blessings? तो उन्होंने मुझे एक बहुत प्यारी बात कही. उन्होंने कहा कि देखो, grace is always there. Always. This compassion of God always is there. The blessings are always on. उन्होंने कहा कि लेकिन सोचो कि you have a nal, you have a faucet, और faucet में से सारे पानी सुंदर से coming out of the faucet. But your bucket is upside down. बाल्टी जो है उल्टा है. यदि बाल्टी उल्टा है तो जितना भी सुंदर सा जल जो नल से आएगा, it doesn't benefit you. It just goes into the drain. In order to benefit from that beautiful stream of blessings, your bucket has to be facing the right way. And this is where our sadhana turns that bucket the right way. And this is where Bhagwan Shri Ram reminded us, whenever we are ready, he is ready. Sanmu koi jiva mohi jabhi, janam koti ag, na shahu tabhi. When the devotee comes to me with devotion, with purity, I accept that devotee. I accept all and remove their sins, their karma. When their bucket is right side up, or even if they're trying to put their bucket right side up, I am there for them. So on this beautiful day, let us pray to the divine, pray to Bhagwan Shri Ram, not only for the compassion that he's always giving us, but for the devotion to flow within us that can merge with that compassion, so that we can really feel that change, that touch, so that we can then bring that touch to the world, that transformation to the world, because that is what is needed today. As we suffer so much, chahe COVID ki wajah se, chahe economy ki wajah se, chahe climate change ki wajah se, the teachings of Bhagwan Shri Ram, the teachings of our Sanskriti are those that the world needs so deeply. So today, we give gratitude to Bhagwan Shri Ram for that infinite grace, infinite compassion. And we pray that when we may be the devotees with our buckets the right side up, ready like Hanumanji to do anything and everything, just with taking God's name and surrendering. Thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity to be together with you today.
Thank you so much, Sadhvi ji. That was such a wonderful talk. Before Bhatt sir says anything, may I request 10 News to please enter Shyam Jaju ji, who is waiting online.
Can we request the two Swamijis to give precedence to Shyam Jajuji, who is not keeping well? So, can he be accommodated first? Swami
Whatever
Shri
you say,
Hariprasad ji and Shri Atmanand ji.
whatever you say.
Yeah.
But at 4:45, I must leave for doing Gopashtami Puja.
He suffered.
4:45. At 4:45, I must leave for the Gopashtami Puja. I have to perform the puja. So there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time. It's only 4:20. It's only 4:20.
No, you just speak. Meanwhile, because Shyam Jajuji was suffering from corona, and only a few days, 2-3 days back, he has
That's
come
okay.
back from the hospital.
I think the technical team will take a little time.
He will be well.
Yes, and so I think
let him speak first.
no, I think the technical team backside is taking time. So, sir, may I request the next speaker?
Next is
Our next speaker is an inspiration in himself, a symbol of humanity, unbound love and kindness. He, through his organization, continues to bring about transformational change within the society by working in various capacities. With folded hands, I request the founder of Vishnu Mohan Foundation, His Holiness Swami Shri Hariprasad ji Maharaj, to please say a few words. Pranam Swamiji.
Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Today we are celebrating the compassion of Shri Rama. And to all to Swami Gurusharnanand Swami who was here, to Pujya Swami Chidanand Saraswati ji, to Shri Govind Giri ji, to the Bhagawati present, to Swami Shri Atmanand ji, my namaskarams, and also to Prof.S.R.Bhatt, who has progressed from being an associate to a friend to a mentor for me. So I'm very honored, my namaskarams to all of you. When we think of Shri Rama's great compassion, we must understand also that it springs from his knowledge of the self. That Shri Rama is an avatara goes without saying. But that knowledge of the presence of the self everywhere, that we see in the great avatars also. In Shanti Parva, it begins by Sri Krishna being in Samadhi and Yudhishthira saying how wonderful it is that I can see you in this state of Turiya, he tells Sri Krishna. So it is also to be kept that avatara comes down to correct adharma, to increase jnana in the world. And what is something which is not understood very much is that he's coming out of sheer compassion and love for humanity and all other beings in the world, all created beings. Up to a grain of sand, up to a leaf, he has great compassion and love for. Again and again in the Ramayana, we see his great compassion. We see him when the Asura who pecks Sita Devi. His arrow chases him all around the three worlds, and he surrenders to Sita Devi, who puts a request to Shri Rama. A normal angry husband would not care about such a thing. They would straight away deal with the offender. They won't even listen to what the wife is saying. But such is his compassion that he's able to look at it from another viewpoint, and he's able to stop that arrow which was chasing the Asura. So we see how he's able to, it's out of this water. Vatsa was talking, he said about Atmapamyam, that not in this seminar, but in another one, that feeling that the self is everywhere, that knowledge that the self is everywhere, that is the compassion that he has. He knows everywhere that is himself. And so because of that, as a result of that, we see him feeling other people's sorrow as well. It is not that he sees that everywhere is the same self, so he's just a dry, uninteresting about everywhere it's me only. No. It is dynamic. That knowledge is dynamic. It expresses itself through his compassion, through his understanding, through his love. When Shri Rama tells Ravana, you are tired, go back, rest, and then come and fight. It is not only Kshatriya chivalry, it is not only the wonderful dharma, it's that he could feel, he could see how Ravana was tired. He could not function as a warrior. And instead of taking advantage of that and killing him on the spot, this man carried away my wife. He doesn't deserve any sort of consideration. He tells them, go back, rest, and then fight. So, we must understand that jnana is the cause of his love. Jnana is the cause of his compassion. And that jnana gives a impetus to his involvement with every created being of this universe. And that will lead to his coming back as Pattabhirama, the Rama who is crowned, surrounded by not only his sons, but also by Sri Hanuman, who has come all the way and joined him there, leaving off his position as the Prime Minister of Kishkinda. He has come to live in Ayodhya. It is his compassion that makes him look and try to settle things peacefully with Lanka. It is his compassion which makes him accept Vibhishana. Many people think it was a very smart political act of bringing in the enemy's younger brother. But it wasn't always that, because Vibhishana wasn't a great addition. And it was not as though there was a succession dispute in which Shri Rama was intervening. Vibhishana came and took refuge in him. And we see that wonderful Charana sloka in which he says that he will give abhayam, he will give to anybody who comes to him. So that is something, it is a message for us in today's world. There is so much of unhappiness, there is so much of sorrow. So many people have lost their relations due to COVID. So many people are on the streets, they don't have money. There's a priest who came to the ashram. He said, I said, where do you stay? He said, because of COVID, nobody called me to do pujas. Because of that, my landlord told me to leave the house. We took all our belongings and gave the house of revelation, and I'm living in the railway station now. People are suffering like that, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. There are thousands and thousands of people who are homeless, who are unhappy. By the grace of God, a good deal of us have been happy. By the compassion of Sri Bhagavan, we had a bumper crop last year. The government support for agriculture paid off, and so there's a lot of food. There has never been a single food riot in the whole of India because of that. We have a lot to be grateful to Sri Bhagavan for, but we must also learn his compassion. And if he could forgive and be kind to his enemy, then should we not have the same love for all our brothers and sisters? Jai Shri Ram. Shri Satguru Arpanamastu. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana.
Thank you, Swamiji, for your gracious presence and some very enlightening words. You are also a great philanthropist, and you have given us the sort of a way to practice philanthropy in this age of corona disease. So we are really grateful to you, and you have been very kind to spare your valuable time in spite of not keeping very good health, because I learned that you came from say some Ayurvedic treatment hospital also just a few hours earlier. So we are really grateful to you. Now, Koshlenji,
Yes, sir.
please take over. Invite the next speaker.
Okay. Our next speaker is a saint with an extraordinary kind heart. His kindness touches every living being and become the foundation of his every being. He aims to compassion on every soul. So I would like to call with folded hand His Holiness Swami Atmanand Ji Maharaj, founder Veda Gurukulam. Swami Atmanand Ji Maharaj.
Please,
Swamiji, please unmute your mic.
Unmute your mic. Unmute.
Jai
Yeah.
Shri Ram.
Yeah.
My humble pranam to Reverend Bharji, and my heart's pranam to all the saints, Reverend saints and Mahatmas here, and the great devotees of Lord Shri Ram. It's just such a rare proof of Lord's grace that we all are getting an opportunity to speak about the Lord, to listen about his greatness and also to experience his compassion for us. Today is a great day, and many webinars I have attained, but this webinar is filling my every cell with great joy and a profound feeling of reverence and gratitude to all the organizers. I humbly offer my heart's pranam to you all. When we are talking of Lord Shri Ram, I just remember his 9 great attributes for which he is so dear to me personally, and also why he is so dear to all the great Mahatmas and great Bhaktas and Jnanis and Yogis and even gods. These 9 great qualities of Lord Shri Ram are clubbed together in one verse. Rajendrang Satyasandang Dasarath Tanayang Shamalang Santamurti Bande Lokabhirama Raghukula Tilakang Raghavang Ravanari. I simply chant this verse and feel the 9-fold divine boundless attribute of Lord Shri Ram, the manifest embodiment of divine in human form. It is said that how great is Lord Rama? Perhaps Lord Rama himself cannot say. So for an ordinary human being like me, how can I even think of saying anything about Lord Rama except simply remembering and feeling the thrill of his love and his compassion that he has showered his grace on me to just share my feeling of my Lord's greatness. Now we are living in an era of democracy, and we think that we are actually much better off than the era of monarchy. But if we do a deep research about Lord Rama and his way of taking care of his citizens and the way he was giving importance to the opinion of the lowest of the low, every democracy of the modern world will hide their face in shame. So Lord Rama is the first king who truly taught and manifested the foundations of democratic principles by giving importance to the lowest of the low, the poorest and the most ignoble human being. That is why whenever we talk of any Raja, any king, any ruler, any emperor, first comes the name of Lord Rama. That is why he is called Rajendra, Indra among the Rajas. So there cannot be anyone above to him. There cannot be anyone more loving than him to his citizens. He is Rajendra. Next, attribute of Lord Rama is Satya Sandhang. He is Satya Sarupa, embodiment of truth, complete manifestation of the truth, even in the relative planes of material, social, and individual life. If we try to evaluate his life and his actions in the relative plane from all angles of ethicality, morality, legality, idealism, I think we will not find anyone in the recorded history of human evolution who can be superior to Lord Rama. Satya Sandhang, the most ideal human being ever walked on this earth is Lord Rama. That is why he is the God of the gods. The third attribute that has made Lord Rama so dear to every human being is he is known as Dasaratha Tanaya, the son of Dasaratha. And as the son of Dasaratha, simply to honor the words of his father, he who was declared to be coronated next morning left for the forest just because his father had given this word to his mother. Dasaratha Tanayang, the ideal son. He is the ideal of every son, past, present, and future. And the fourth attribute of Lord Rama, it is Shamalang, Shamala, Sabujima, greenery, that is the nature. Lord Rama is a lover of nature, environment, Mother Prakriti. He has always promoted, encouraged, supported, advised the environmental harmony of nature, be it water, be it air, be it earth, be it fire. When Lanka was born, Lanka was devastated. Before he left Lanka, he made it again Suvarna Lanka. As it was before, so also after the war. Every single tree that was uprooted was brought back to life. That is why it is Shamalang. Shamalang is not here referring to his skin color. It is referring to his infinite love for Mother Nature. The environmental crisis, what we are talking of now, those who are doing research on environmental crisis, they should do research on Lord Rama's contribution to ecological harmony. Shantamurti, the fifth attribute of Lord Rama is Shantamurti, ever blissful, ever in a state of permanent peace. Even when he was fighting the war with Ravana, even at that time, as is narrated by Maharishi Valmiki ji and by many other saint poets, those who have written about Lord Shri Ram. He was an embodiment and manifestation of bliss, even when fighting the waged war with the most powerful asura of that era of cycle, Santamurti. And he was Lokabhiraman. Lokabhiraman means the giver of delight to all his citizens. He did not have any special group of advisors to whom he was more accessible, more loving, more supporting, equal to all in his protection and in his compassion and in his guidance, equal to all. That is why he was the source of ananda to all his citizens, all the lokas, all the people of his country. Then he is the Raghukula Tilakan, the dynasty, the Raghu dynasty. He is the pride of the Raghu dynasty. In Raghu dynasty, there are so many kings had come before Rama. After Rama also so many kings, emperors came, but he was the exalted one. He set the example before all those who are the solar dynasty. There are two dynastic we read in the scripture, the solar dynasty and the lunar dynasty. But if we go to the spiritual way, there are two. One is the earthly, that is the experiential expansion, what we call the modern scientific innovations and scientific expansion of technology, and the spiritual way.
Running out of time.
So he was Raghukula Tilakan, and then is Raghavan. Raghavan is one who is free from all anger, all malice. And finally, he is Ravana Ari, that is enemy of ego, but not ignorance. Friend of ignorance, friend of the ignorant, but destroyer of the egoistic. This is Lord Shri Ram, and on this day, when we are thinking of him, listening of him,
it's a very humble request to you. Actually, we are
finished.
running. Okay, sir.
It is finished.
Please, Swamiji.
It is finished. I'm aware of the time, and it is finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you so much
of conducting this. Thank you, please.
Thank you so
my
much,
humble
sir.
pranam to all the participants and to Reverend Bhattji, and all my thanks and blessings to the great organizer, our Divya Bandanaji.
Thank you, Swamiji. Swagatam Shri Ram Madhav Sirji and Professor V.K. Malhotra Sirji. I would like to call Professor S.R.Bhatt. Please initiate the second session of this program. Professor S.R.Bhatt, sir, please.
Now, what about Shri Shyam Jajuji? Is he available? Shyam Jajuji?
So no, he won't be coming in. So you can initiate the second session, sir.
Okay. So we welcome Shri Ram Madhavji, who is an erudite scholar, a versatile genius, a prolific writer, a good journalist, and of course a politician as well. In fact, his book, Our Uneasy Neighbors, is a specimen of diplomacy. And he has a concept. One thing I appreciate in him is conceptual clarity. Well, whatever he speaks, well, it has some sort of logicality in it. So we look forward to some very illuminating discourse from Shri Ram Madhavji. Since we are running short of time, I don't take much of time. Shri Ram Madhavji, kindly unmute yourself. Unmute. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Bhatt Saab, and my pranams to all the distinguished scholars and other friends present in this webinar, in this conference. We are discussing a very great epic personality, Bhagwan Ram. It is said that there won't be a village in India without a Ram temple. Ram is a universal deity. Historian William Dalrymple says that Ram is treasured as the common property of every Hindu, as well as that of many Muslims, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, and Christians. It is easy to relate with Ram because, as the sage Valmiki himself very aptly described, he was an avatar of Vishnu, of course, we all know. But he is also an ordinary, yet an ideal human being. It is this relatability with Ram as a human being that has made Ram and Ramayana the most popular epic hero and epic poem in the world. In fact, the eminent Sanskrit professor from California University, Robert Goldman, he says that very few works of literature produced in any place at any time have been as popular, as influential, as imitated, and successful as the great and ancient Sanskrit epic poem, the Valmiki Ramayana. Mitro, all religions, Semitic or Eastern religions, have sacredness attached to spaces and heroes. A Romanian scholar of religion by name Miss Mircea Eliade, she coined a phrase, a new term. The term is hierophony. Hierophony means sacredness attached to places brushed by God's presence. For example, for the Jews, the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, a temple, a wall of the remains of a temple built by King Solomon in 10th century BCE, is a sacred place. Jerusalem is sacred for Christians because of its association with Jesus Christ. For the Muslims, Mecca is sacred as the birthplace of the Prophet. Even the Greeks still attach sacredness to classical Greek sites like the shrine of Apollo at Delphi or the temples at Ephesus, which is in Turkey nowadays. In the same manner, Hindu deities also have their sacred history and places. Hindu gods are the greatest unifiers of Hindu nation. Ram and Krishna, the greatest heroes of Hinduism. They traversed across the length and breadth of Bharat. Ram journeyed from north to south, while Krishna's sojourn was from west to east. Numerous sacred places dot the geography of India linked to the history of these two epic heroes. Temples were built for them, and in some cases, they themselves built temples. The deity at Rameshwaram, Lord Shiva, is believed to have been installed by Ram himself. These temples represent their connection with the gods at one level, but at the same time, they diffuse noble values that the gods represented at the other level. It is that very value system that binds the Hindu society together. Ram Manohar Lohia, the eminent socialist thinker of the last century, regarded Rama, Krishna, and Shiva as the greatest symbols of the ancient Indic civilization. He used to say, you stand outside any temple dedicated to them, one of them, you will find a mini Hindustan there. Whether it is Rameshwaram in south or Kashi in north, what you find is not a sect, not a group of people belonging to any particular place, particular state, particular religion, particular language. It's a mini Hindustan that you witness. Lohiya's Ram was an ideal human being. Swami Vivekananda also described Ram as the embodiment of truth, of morality, the ideal son, the ideal husband, and above all, the ideal king. For Mahatma Gandhi, Ram was truthfulness, Satya. Valmiki asks a very important question to Narada once. Who is the most accomplished man on earth at the present time? Then Valmiki goes on to explain or describe what he meant by accomplished. He says, one who knows the secret of religion, dharma janta hai, one who knows gratitude, one who is truthful, one who is ready to sacrifice his self-interest even when in distress to fulfill a religious vow, virtuous in his conduct, eager to safeguard the interests of all, one who is strong, pleasing in appearance, with power of self-control, able to subdue anger, one who is illustrious, with no jealousy for the prosperity of others, and in the war, able to strike terror in the hearts of even the gods. This is the qualities that Valmiki describes when he says, who is the most accomplished man? And Narada's prompt reply was, none other than Ram, the son of Dasharatha. In the Aranya Kanda, Maricha, the demon, when he was approached by Ravana to disguise as a golden deer to distract Ram, Maricha warns Ravana against the misadventure because Maricha by then had already had one encounter with Ram. Maricha, while dissuading Ravan, uses a beautiful phrase for Ram. He says, describing Ram, the phrase that Valmiki used through Maricha was, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha Sadhu Satya Parakramaha. This was the description. Ram was embodiment of Dharma, a pious man with truth as his power, Satya Parakramaha. Valmiki actually used two very significant phrases to describe the ideal human being that is Ram. One phrase was Vigrahavan Dharmaha. We very frequently use this phrase, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. Vigrahavan Dharmaha was through Maricha that Valmiki utters this description about Ram. The other phrase also very frequently used is that Ram as Maryada Purushottama. Both mean that Ram was the epitome of dharma and morals. Remember, Ram became great not when he was ruling, but when he was struggling, when he was in exile. Virtuous are those who are undisturbed when out of power. Ram's greatest qualities that made him Maryada Purushottama were manifest not when he was in Ayodhya, the center of power, but when in exile in the forests. His finest qualities of humility, magnanimity, and fortitude come out during various incidents of his vanvas, the life in the forest. Ram's high point was his respect for Ravana. He bows before him in reverence for his scholarship when they come face to face in the battlefield on the first day. When Ravana was on the deathbed, Ram sends Lakshmana to learn some noble lessons from him. Lakshmana first time comes back saying that Ravana refused to teach anything. Having learned the minute details of the encounter, Ram actually scolds Lakshmana and sends him back, instructing him that you should not stand at the head of Ravan, seeking his lessons. You should stand at his feet. If you are seeking some lessons from him, stand at Ravana's feet. This shows the high point of Rama's character. Of course, the low point in Ram's character was when he asks for Sita to undergo Agni Pariksha, the fire test. Ram's excuse was that the society needs to be convinced about her chastity. Sita admonishes him for lack of manliness. But for Ram, people first was the principle as a god in human avatar. Friends, Hinduism is a worship-centric religion. We worship everything, animate and inanimate alike. Sacredness of everything in creation, the omnipresence of divinity, is the essence of Hinduism. Power for Ram was also an object of worship. Sage Valmiki again uses two very significant phrases in Ramayana to describe Ram's rule. One was Ramo Rajyamupasitva. Valmiki did not say Rama ruled over his kingdom. The expression was Rama Rajya ka upasana kiya, Rajya ki upasana kiya. Ram worshipped his kingdom. And the other phrase comes when Ram was to discard Sita for the second time in Ayodhya. Faced with a lot of criticism, Ram says, Sneham dayancha saukshyancha yadiva janakimapi aradhanaya lokasya munchato nasti me vyatha. Meaning, I am ready to discard my quality of affection, quality of kindness, my quality, all my pleasures, everything, including Sita. For what? The phrase used was Aradhanaya Lokasya. Not to enjoy power. Not because somebody will call me great. But Aradhanaya Lokasya means because I have to worship people, I am ready to sacrifice thing that is utmost dear to me. So this was Rama as a king. Friends, I am almost coming to the conclusion of my presentation. There are many great lessons that one can learn from Rama and Ramayana. But the greatest lessons are all reserved for the rulers. Humility, not arrogance of power. Worshipping the kingdom and the people. Reverence for the kingdom, for the people. These are the kind of qualities Ram manifested and epitomized. Ramarajya of Mahatma Gandhi was about these qualities. In fact, Gandhiji used to say that in independent India, what we wanted is a Ramarajya. Of course, he used to clarify that Ramarajya, when I say Ramarajya, it doesn't mean I want a Hindu state, a theocratic state. In fact, I will conclude by quoting Mahatma Gandhi, what he wrote in Harijan, the magazine he used to run, in January 1937. In that, Gandhi writes, by political independence, I do not mean an imitation to the British House of Commons, or the Soviet rule of Russia, or the fascist rule of Italy, or the Nazi rule of Germany. They have systems suited to their genius. We must have ours suited to ours. What that can be is more than I can tell. I have described it as Rāma Rajya, sovereignty of the people based on pure moral authority. If anything that we in politics, in public life, we can learn from the ideal of Ram, that is the ideal of Rāma Rajya, which is based on sovereignty of the people at one level and moral authority of the rulers at the other level. I thank Professor Bhatt and other organizers for providing me this excellent opportunity. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shri Ram. And now,
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind word. I would like to invite Professor.S.R.Bhatt. Please say something about sir's a wonderful and wise and full of wisdom speech about compassion of Ram.
in fact, Shri Ram Madhavji is a practitioner in political field, and he has tried to employ these ideas and ideals in actual practice. So we are really grateful to him for giving us particularly this idea that Lok Aradhana, worship of the society. Well, this is the ideal which every politician should say care for. And in modern times, we find that politicians are more interested in power rather than in service, and therefore Shri Ram Madhavji's advice would be, I think, very much guiding light for the present day politicians. And though he's in the political field, but basically he's an academician, and therefore we value his ideas, and we are thankful to him for sparing his valuable time. He's a busy person, but he could spare his time for us, and whenever we approach him for academic contribution, he is more than willing to help us. So we are really grateful to him for that. Thank you, Ram Madhav ji.
थैंक यू सो मच सर. वैसे भी सर के नाम में ही राम है, तो इसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर, आपने समय निकाला. थैंक यू सो मच सर.
मैंने भी यही कहा था कि राम की इस वेबिनार में राम को आना है, तो ये भगवान राम के ही एम्बॉडिमेंट हैं.
जी. Thank you so much, sir.
अगले स्पीकर.
So our next speaker is an expert in economics and is an academician of the highest repute. He has not only added value to academics, but is also a being of immense kindness, empathy, and compassion. I'm glad to welcome the member secretary of Indian Council of Social Sciences Research, Professor V.K. Malhotra ji. Malhotra sir, it's over to you.
Thank you, Kaushalendra ji. Very respected Shri S.R. Bhatt ji, Shri Ram Madhav ji. I was listening to a number of speakers of the previous session also, and it's very difficult to see religion, purity, conscience combining with learning and erudition so easily, so smoothly, that it deeply goes into our heart. And I can understand Professor S.R.Bhatt ji, who's a giant philosopher in the country, could do it so smoothly and so clearly. Of course, I being basically a student of economics, it's very difficult for me to talk about such issues, but Bhattji, because of his love for me, definitely makes me part and parcel of such events, such programs, where I intend to be benefited more from what people have to say than what I have to contribute to the proceedings. A few things that I understand are this, that as I understand Rama and Ramayana, a few things about our, whether we say Rama or Ram or Ramchandra, is said to be an incarnation of Vishnu, along with Krishna, Parshurama, and Gautam Buddha, which are very prominent names in India, Indian philosophy that we talk about. Even Jain texts make a mention of Rama as the 8th Balabhadra among the 63 Salakapurusas. If we talk of tale number 461 of the Jataka, which records talks of Buddha's previous birth, and Buddha himself says that in previous birth I was myself a Rama Pandita, and here Pandita stands for the word wise. Buddha narrated the story of Ramayana, which is slightly different from that of the Valmiki's Ramayana, and we can understand because Ramayana in this country has been written in most of the languages of the country. But again, an astonishing fact is Buddha is also said to be born in Ikshvaku dynasty, which belonged to Rama also. Rama personifies the ideal person, Purushottama, one who stands out among mankind. And he goes a step further, Maryada Purushottama, one who personifies even that Purushottama, and one who goes to the other extreme of that in achieving the human qualities. Another interesting part is that on the one hand, he goes to the extreme of the human qualities. On the other hand, he is said to be the best among the gods even. I'm reminded of Roderick Hindrey's words that Rama combines reason with emotions, which is said to be a thinking heart approach. A thinking heart approach. Thinking is standing for reason, and heart, of course, is standing for emotions. David Frawley also says that Rama combines ethics and aesthetics. He is an embodiment of both ethics as well as aesthetics. He is one such person, he is one such God who does not use evil or evil means to counter and eliminate another evil. He uses pure means to eliminate evil even. For him, karma and dharma, they go together. He does, it is said, he does dharma's karma and karma's dharma. I'm reminded of a famous poetry of Jaishankar Prasad, who wrote in Kamayani, Dharma ka karma or karma ka dharma, yahi jad ka chetan. So this is how Rama combines it all. As Ram Madhavji rightly said, that he is the biggest inspiration of Gandhiji. As far as means to achieve an objective is concerned, he definitely inspires Gandhiji for his appreciation of truthfulness and integrity. Surely, Rama is an embodiment of compassion, gentleness, kindness, righteousness, and integrity. He remains firm. Let there be several hundred kinds of tribulations, but Rama remains stable and firm. Valmiki hails Rama with the epithet Sarva Bhuta Hite Rathaha. He has sterling qualities of compassion. To give you a few examples, his acceptance of those bears of Shabari, his bonding with Vanaras led by Hanuman, Sugriv, Nal, Neel, and Jamvant. He forgives Shuka and Charana, the spies of Ravana. When he built the bridge to reach Lanka, and the god sea appears before Ram when he is ready with his arrow, and he worships and prays Rama not to throw his arrow there itself, as the entire sea is expected to then dry. Rama has to definitely divert the direction of that arrow. He gives asylum to Vibhishana. Look at his qualities of friendliness, inclusiveness, detachment. And in the Western world, when we talk of democracies, and wherein researches, the length of democracy has become very, very important. We in India will have to definitely articulate which length are we talking about. The length that appears in our Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Veda and Upanishads. So they present our gods and goddesses as true democrats. He is a great counselor. He is humility personified. And if I talk of this epic, if we talk about Hindu philosophy and say, who is an ideal son? Who is an ideal husband? Who is an ideal king or a democrat? Who is an ideal Hindu king? Will find the answer to all these questions will be Rama itself. And we talk of Ramayana, if we talk of who is an ideal wife, ideal father, ideal brother, and ideal devotee, answer to these questions is well given by Ramayana itself. I'm also reminded of a famous statement of Guru Nanak on Rama. The name of Rama is like the casket of jewel. He alone is happy who sings the glory of Ramanama. It is deluded by Maya and it does not attain the fearless state. It is unfortunate of you if you do not recite the name. My Lord Rama is most beneficent donor who gives substance to the whole world. This is the entire idea, concept. And Rama, even Kabir says to recite Rama, Rama day and night without knowing its essence is like uttering water, water crores of times. Thirst still keeps its presence. So Rama, in true sense, is representative of the encyclopedia of Sanatana Dharma, its principles, philosophy, and social norm. Undoubtedly, these qualities of Rama make him cross even Indian borders, reach entire South Asia and entire Asia also in a certain way. There is hardly any epic in the world which has been translated so many times and in so many languages as Ramayana has been. And as I said in the beginning, he is one such person who combines ethics, religion, and science all together. Agastya Samhita says that the Rama came down to the earth to represent Vedas. In true sense, Rama is an embodiment of India and its people. As I said, he personifies ideals, character, courage, warriorship, purity, fortitude, truth, charity, and detachment. So these are, in true sense, these are the qualities that we in India definitely talk about, that they are of the prime importance to the basic Hindu philosophy, in fact. And he definitely represents the four Purusharthas of the Hindu Dharma, which include dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. I'm thankful to the organizers of this event that they gave me this opportunity to share some of my views about Rama and Ramayana on this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for a very extensive survey of Indian culture as it is represented by Lord Rama. We are grateful to you for this very lucid and thoughtful presentation. So we express our gratitude to you. On to Kaushlendra now. Please, Kaushlendra.
Thank you so much, Malhotra sir, for your time and for your wisdom to sharing with us. Now, we have our next guest, a celebrated Indian-born American author and the sharp brain behind Infinity Foundation that focuses on Indic studies. Our next guest is True Blue Sanatan Dharmi. His contribution to Indian culture and Indic studies is worth appreciation. Now, I take the pleasure of welcoming Shri Rajiv Malhotra ji. Rajiv Malhotra ji, sir, it's over to you.
Can I test my mic? Is my audio okay? Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
I just wanted to test.
You're loud and clear.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay.
Thank you, Prof.S.R.Bhatt, for extending this invitation to me. And thank you to all the luminaries and great speakers who've participated in this. It is indeed an honor to be part of this event. Since so many speakers have already discussed Ramayana itself, its content and its message, and I have limited time, so what I will do is I will focus on a few observations about the Ramayana, what I think is extraordinary about the Ramayana, and maybe things that people don't notice enough. And maybe I will provoke a little bit. So we know Ramayana as itihas, which is not translatable as mythology, and I keep fighting that, but many eminent people, including, sometimes our own diplomats, they talk about mythology. Sometimes our acharyas and pandits talk about that mythology. It is actually not true. Besides being itihas, Ramayana also defines the sacred geography. The territory of India, the territory being described is sacred. That is so it is actually a performance on a sacred performance on a sacred piece of land. So the land is sacred because of what happened there. The itihas makes the land sacred. It's very important. The itihas is today present in the form of sacred geography. So the rivers, the mountains, the forests, the different places in the Ramayana and Mahabharata, the itihas in general, because of what happened, those events and the energies, the divinity present and participating in those events has made the land itself sacred. It is like quantum entangled. There is something called entanglement in quantum physics, that two things get entangled. Once they're entangled, two electrons that are entangled, even when they are separated across galaxies, they are affecting each other. This is the quantum entanglement. So the geography of the land has been entangled, if you will, with the divine presence and the divine actions. This is an important thing to notice, that the impact of the itihas is not just stories we remember, but the impact is on the land, its own vibrations, and how it is sacred for us. I want to talk about one Sanskrit non-translatable. I did a recent book just 2 weeks ago. It called Sanskrit Non-Translatables. And it talks about Sanskrit words that are commonly mistranslated. They should not be translated. Like I mentioned already, itihas is translated as mythology. That's wrong. So itihas is just itihas. Don't try to translate it as history or mythology. History also has got a different meaning. Itihas is just itihas. And there is no English word for it because they did not have that same experience of divine. They could say that Bible is itihas because it is God coming. Muslims never have itihas because God never enters the world. God is always outside. He has a prophet, but that prophet is not avatar. They don't believe in any avatar possibility, nor do the Jews. The Christians believe that God did come once. And so it resembles itihas, but it has several differences. So itihas is a very unique concept that we have, and we should protect that and preserve it with our own term. Another term that I want to discuss, which is not translatable, but often people translate it, is ahimsa. Now, ahimsa is often, and I want to talk in the context of Ramayana, ahimsa. Ahimsa is often translated as, non-violence. But the problem is that himsa, of which ahimsa is the opposite, himsa is not violence in the physical sense only. It means harming. Harming can be cultural harming. You convert people and you've committed himsa because you've denied them of their culture. You deny them of their house of worship. You haven't killed them, but you've denied them of something. And that is harm. So harming is himsa. And ahimsa is not absolute non-harming, but it is minimizing the harm. So ahimsa is minimizing the harm among the choices available. So if you kill Bin Laden, you've committed violence, but that is ahimsa because he was going to kill 1 million people. So by killing one person, you avoided killing 1 million people. So among the choices, killing one person is less harm than killing 1 million people. So ahimsa is to minimize the harm among the available options. Now, the reason I'm saying this is important is that Ram has to kill. Avatar comes and kills. Is he violating himsa? Sri Krishna advocates that you have to kill those people. Is that violating ahimsa? No, because if Ravana were not killed, he would be causing massive destruction. So today's Ravan would be a Bin Laden and many other people like that. So killing the Ravana is an act of ahimsa because it is going to protect millions of other people. So you are minimizing the harm by having to kill one person. So therefore, ahimsa is a very important point, not to translate it as non-violence, because then people go around saying, okay, don't even kill this murderer. He's got a AK-47. He's going to shoot lots of people. Don't kill him because we believe in ahimsa. That is not true. You have to get rid of this guy because he's going to kill lots of people. So dharma yudh is consistent with ahimsa because it is being done for dharma. So you see, even yudh, even violence, even killing one's relatives, like in Mahabharata, is part of ahimsa if the objective is not something selfish to gain control and all of those things, but it is for the benefit of society at large. That is, therefore, I would say one of the morals of Ramayana is to correct the understanding of ahimsa, because why is it that in both the itihas, Bhagavan himself comes and has to be advocating either killing himself or getting others to do it. It cannot be that Bhagavan doesn't understand ahimsa. Bhagavan is actually teaching us moral. And this is very important for today, because some of our people are confused and say that, no, we practice ahimsa, therefore we should not be doing all this. Okay. So we have to understand the importance of dharma yudh as part of practicing ahimsa. Now, this takes me to another topic. We talk about soft power today. Now, soft power, I maintain that unless you also have hard power, you cannot have soft power. if you don't have hard power, nobody takes your soft power seriously. Soft power is to leverage your culture and convince other people to your point of view. And this soft power works because there is a foundation of hard power underneath it. So soft power is a diplomatic front, it's the cultural front, but its purpose to convince people to our point of view works if you're operating from strength, which means hard power. So if you don't have, I was giving a talk at the Kashmiri, they organized a big event, commemorating some anniversary in Canada, and I gave a talk there, and they were talking about what's happened to Kashmiri Pandits, and I said to them that soft power of Kashmiri Pandits was not enough to protect them. I mean, they had Kashmir Shaivism, they have great poetry, they have great literature, art, they had all of those cultural things, but they lost the Kshatriyata. They lost the Kshatriyata. The Brahmins alone, without the Kshatriyas, are defenseless. The Brahmins alone, if the Kshatriyas are gone, because the Muslims came, took over the rule, and the Hindu Kshatriyas were gone, Brahmins didn't realize that becoming very aligned with the Muslim Kshatriyas, Muslim rulers, is going to be dangerous. So they did align with them. But after a while, they were also thrown out. So that's because they did not have their own Kshatriyas. So this is the lesson you learn, that you need Kshatriyata, which gives you the hard power, in order to have the soft power that the Brahmins can bring. So this is why the Varnas are very important, to be balanced and to support each other. And I'm not talking about Varna by birth, I'm not talking about caste system, I'm talking about the skill set, the competence, the main goal and purpose of a person as Kshatriyata or as Brahmin. So I'm talking in that sense, not by birth. And the point I'm making is that the role of Kshatriya as hard power is very important to protect the soft power that the Brahmin wants to project. This is an important lesson. You see, Sri Ramchandra tries the argument, tries the reasoning. Sri Krishna tries logic and reasoning. The soft power fails. Hard power has to be used. So this is a very important lesson, that even the avatar is teaching us that you first try the diplomacy, you try the soft power method, and if it doesn't work, then you have to go use hard power. You may have to kill. So these are important messages I get in terms of how to apply the Ramayana for today in many discussions you have. I also want to say that avatar is a non-translatable. Avatar is not son of God. It is not a biological son of God kind of concept. It is the Bhagavan himself. It is not his son. And this is a concept that does not exist in no other faith has the concept of avatar, where Bhagavan himself comes. Not sending a Paigambar, that is not son, and not sending biological son, and so on. Vanar is not monkey. Hanuman is not monkey. This is another non-translatable we discuss in our book. That is also a lesson in the Mahabharata, because it's a species that speaks, that is very intelligent, that is very learned, but they have a tail. So it's a species that can walk on all fours, they can also stand up like a human, and they can speak, and they have a tail. So it's a species that does not exist today. We don't know of such a species today. But at the time of Ramayana, there is such a species, and that is who they are. So just because we don't have such a species today, and just because they happen to have a tail, we cannot say that therefore we are worshipping monkeys, because monkeys are not the same intelligence as human beings. Hanuman is a very learned person, and he speaks Sanskrit. So, Hanuman knows Sanskrit. He is exceedingly clever and intelligent and devotee. So we cannot, these are lessons we have to learn from Ramayana, that we should stop using the term monkey god, because Hanuman is not a monkey. This is an important point. Now there are many such things that I would like to have pointed out, but time is short. I just want to close with one more thing, that our Infinity Foundation is publishing a book which will come out this Dashera of 2021, the next Dashera of 2021. That's our target. And this is a book on the Ravanas of today. Who are the 10-headed Ravanas of today? So we've identified about 10 important scholars, Indian and Western, who are vicious Hindu-phobic, breaking India forces, anti-dharma, and we are calling them the 10 heads of Ravan. So we are saying that Ravan has been reincarnated, the intellectual kind of reincarnation, and these intellectuals that are very important in India and in the West, and we've named them. Each chapter is written by one of our young intellectual Kshatriyas. We are training a group of intellectual Kshatriyas. So there's 10 chapters, each written by one of them. I'm not writing any, I've just trained them. Now they are taking over. So each one has taken one head of Ravan, one intellectual who is the Ravan, creating mischief, creating problems, and the act of getting rid of this person intellectually. It is an intellectual Ravan head and intellectual war from our side. So somebody picks a person A, somebody picks a person B. We've got 10 very, very powerful people. Their names everybody knows. And we are going to have each scholar take on one and give a good rebuttal, intellectual rebuttal, point by point, intellectual rebuttal of these 10-headed Ravana. That's going to come out in the Shera. I'll close with this. Thank you very much for a very learned audience and a very learned panel. I'm honored and humbled to be part of it. Namaste.
Thank you. Over to Kushlenji.
Thank you so much, Rajiv Malhotra ji.
Thank you.
You delivered a very full of wisdom thoughts, and you gave us such a new things to know about our Indic culture and Vedic culture that we are not focusing on those things. But thank you so much for your great talk here. Sir, Professor Bhatt sir, I would like to invite you for the vote of thanks and concluding remarks, because some of guests are not coming because some problems they are facing, and they are stuck in some problems. It's like Shyam Jaju ji. So I would like to invite you.
Was he not here?
Actually, sir, he last minute he got a very busy schedule. That's why he couldn't make it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Revered saints and distinguished scholars, we had a very enlightening, illuminating, and instructive deliberations from saints and other scholars. It was really an intellectual and a spiritual treat. Though the focus was Lord Rama, we could get very many ideas which can provide us some guidelines for a virtuous living and a life which is worthy of living. There are three seminal concepts which emerged out of our deliberations. One is Satya, other is Prem, and third is Karuna. Satya stands for Samata, Samadrashti. All are essentially one, no discrimination, no division, no some sort of discrimination. So we say Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. This is Indian spirituality. Indian spirituality stands for fundamental unity of all existences. Charachara. We say that Siya Ramamay Sab Jaga Jani. So Sara Jaga, the whole cosmos is say Siya and Sita and Rama. And Sita and Rama are not two different things. They are two facets of the same existence. Just as we say, Shiva and Shakti are not two different entities, but they are two different aspects of the same reality. So, when we say that Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma or Etad Atmidam Sarvam, well, this is the expression of Satya. This is the ultimate Satya. This is Satyasya Satyam. Upanishads call it as Satyasya Satyam. Well, the multiplicity is real. It is Satya. But the ultimate source of all multiplicity is Satyasya Satyam. So, Bhagwan Ram stands for that Satya. Bhagwan Ram is Parabrahma. Of course, Ram takes a form of a Purusha, and therefore we say that Rama is a Maryada, Purushottama, etc. But Ram basically stands for that Parabrahma only. And therefore, Ram, truth is the expression for Rama, for fundamental unity. So, Samadrashti, Samata, so that there should not be any sort of discrimination. And if there is no discrimination, definitely it would result in peace, friendship, fellowship, and love. Loving every creature, every entity, animate as well as inanimate. So, prema is another key concept, and we have one Prem Ramayana also, where Lord Rama is not only the embodiment of Satya, is also an embodiment of prema, loving. So, hatred towards none. Even Lord Rama didn't have hatred towards Ravana. So he had that loving kindness towards Ravana, and therefore he could send Lakshmana to learn diplomacy and political science from Ravana. So, in fact, as I said earlier also, when we talk of Vadha, killing, well, Ram's killing is for Uddhara, for liberation. That means to make them free from evil tendencies and make them virtuous. So, this is inculcation of virtues. Well, that is the idea of killing. So, killing, in fact, therefore, is symbolic in nature. So, Satya should follow by prema. If you have samadrashti, naturally you should also have a prema. In case of a prema, you will find that there is no ahankara. Ego is not there. There is no feeling of superiority and inferiority. Some sort of equality, feeling of equality is there in prema. So, prema does not demand anything, but in fact, it is based on sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your narrow self for the sake of helping the wider one. So, Satya and Prema are two qualities which Lord Rama embodies. And then this Prema gets external manifestation in Karuna. Prema is something which is internal. It is a sort of an attitude of mind, emotional attitude of mind. So, prema gets a fructification in karuna, and karuna means seva, paropkara. You have always to help others, particularly those who are needy, those who are deprived, and those who are at the lowest level of society. So, what we call as Antyodaya. So Karuna stands for that. So in Karuna, you don't have this sort of attitude that you will help those only who will help you subsequently. So it is a Niswartha Bhava with which we have to perform Karuna. So Karuna therefore is a culmination of Prem, and Prem is a sort of a logical corollary of Satya. So Satya, Prem and Karuna, they go together. Well, different scholars have referred to these three aspects in this, so far as the character of Bhagwan Ram is concerned. There are different episodes in Valmiki Ramayana, Ramcharitamanas, and other Ramayanas. Different, as I said earlier, there are 300 Ramayanas available in different parts of the world, and therefore each Ramayana has its own particular message to convey, and these messages are for redemption. This redemption is not only of the evil persons, it is redemption for the virtuous also, so that virtuous people do not become evilsome. They have to be safeguarded. Therefore Gita says the paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. So the evil-minded people need to be purified. This purification, of course, may be in terms of annihilation of this particular birth. They may take birth in some other form. We believe in the doctrine of Punarjanma, and therefore we say that those who are evil people can be transformed, and they may be made virtuous. So Vinash, the word Vinash is to be used in this sense also, that there can be transformation. But if there cannot be transformation, then this present birth should be terminated, and they may get another birth and may try to get a virtuous life. But main thing is that the virtuous people need to be protected. So paritranaya sadhunam. Well, this is Lord Krishna, Lord Rama. They represent all those activities, all those eventualities which protect the virtuous. Malhotra ji, that from America, he has very rightly pointed out that avatar does not mean a sort of rebirth. It is the reality appears in the same form. But the only thing is that that form is for the sake of loka hita, and therefore the Brahma is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, we say, or Ramastu Bhagavan Swayam. So we have to understand this concept of avatar in Indian context, wherein there is no distinction between the ultimate reality and the reality which is manifested in the form of Krishna or Rama, etc. Similarly, he talked of ahimsa. Hinsa is negative in nature, and ahimsa is positive. Negative of the negative is positive. So ahimsa should be understood in its positive form also. In its positive form, ahimsa stands for prema and karuna. So it is not just desisting from killing. That is very crude meaning of the word ahimsa. We should have to understand its real meaning, essential meaning, and that is to have a positive attitude. Positive attitude would involve prema and karuna. So we therefore have Lord Rama as a true representative of Indian culture. All basic and seminal ideas and ideals which are propounded in the Vedas and the Upanishads, well, they are manifested in Lord Rama, and therefore we value the life and teachings of Lord Rama. We celebrate Ramanavami, we celebrate Dashera and Diwali, but this should not be mere celebrations. Well, what is the message underlying all these festivals or all these religious functions? I think that should be highlighted, and the qualities which Ram stands for need to be inculcated in us through education. So, in fact, our system of education should be such wherein these qualities are embodied and they are inculcated in the young minds. So, this is the purpose. Mere celebration is not enough. It should be followed by actual practice, and I hope that a time will come when these noble ideas and the qualities propounded in our culture will get reflected in our syllabi. Ramayana should not be treated, like Gita also, as a religious text. It should also not be treated merely as a literary work. Well, it is something which gives us guidelines, directions for noble living, and therefore it is this part of these scriptures. Scriptures, see, they are classics. A classic is one which is not only enjoyable, joy yielding. A classic also is one which is something which to be followed, to be emulated. Every classic has its eternal value only in terms of the message it conveys, and Ramayana and Mahabharata are classics in this sense, and therefore they should not just be part of our literature pursuits, literary pursuits, or something for research only. Well, they need to be properly put to practice, and this is how we are having this sort of webinars to remind us about the noble qualities which are represented by these spiritual heroes of our culture. Now, we are really grateful to different saints. I think Kaushalenji, you can name them, and scholars, and they could spare their valuable time.
Of course, sir.
And in fact, they gave a good start to our webinar. In fact, as the saying goes, well begun is half done. So we have this webinar for 3 days, but the first day has been really remarkable. And of course, due to paucity of time, we had to cut short some of the speeches. But time is beyond our control, and we have to be within the limits of time. And we are sorry that we could not hear Sri Jajuji, Sham Jajuji. I learned was there.
Actually, sir, he got some last minute call for his work, so he couldn't make it. Otherwise, indeed, we had a very wonderful first day of our 3 days international webinar. So I'll say that you rightly pointed out and said that well begun is half done. So I would like to thank our Pujya Shri Gurusharnanand ji Maharaj ji, the first our speaker, and second is Swami Vigyananand ji, then after Swami Chidanand Saraswati ji Maharaj, then Govind Dev Giri ji Maharaj, Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati ji, Pujya Swami Atmanand ji, Pujya Swami Vishnu Foundation's founder, and our
Shri Hariprasad.
Shri Hariprasad ji. Okay, sir. Shri Hariprasad ji. So we had a very thoughtful talk with Ram Madhav sir ji, and of course Professor V.K. Malhotra ji, and Rajiv Malhotra from USA. So indeed it was a very wonderful day today, and we enjoyed a lot. I hope the next coming 2 days will be as good as this today. So this seminar, this webinar will give some new ideas for our country, for our society, for our youth, for our generation, to know more about Ram, to know more about our legends. So, and we can follow their path. So with this concluding remark, I would like to say thank you, and thank you so much for each and everyone who supported us for today's webinar. So pranam, sabhi ko sadar pranam.
The speakers of today can join us on the general link, no?
Yeah, of course, they can. They have already viewers link. They can join us from tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And the speaker who is going to speak tomorrow, they will get the link late night today.
So we are thankful to Professor V.K. Malhotra ji
yeah, of course,
for his gracious presence. Could you listen to other talks earlier ones? Or
yes, I could. I did. Right. I could benefit from that. Right. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Malhotra sir.
Tomorrow also you are welcome if you are
right. I'll try to join.